Hey, everybody, welcome to Lorebeards 40,000.
Ooh.
Alexis is admiring her work on an orc war bike. Isn't that a war buggy?
War track?
War track,
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's the war track. It's the newest one, which I still am blown away that I called that this model was going to be made like a month before it got announced. Like I was playing Armageddon, right? And that game is a ton of fun. And I was like, they need to remake a bunch of these things. They could definitely remake the war track. The war track is so easy to remake. They better remake it. And then I was like, you know
Behold!
what? You know what? I bet they're going to remake it. Boom, I'm correct. I'm like, yes.
Armageddon is one of the classic Warhammer 40k video games that you are streaming over on
Yes.
Twitch. Very awesome. I will be hopefully streaming tomorrow, as a matter of fact, over on Twitch as well. So, welcome everybody. This is Lorebeards 40,000, and today we are doing a Let's Build. Alexis, what are we building today?
So we are building Captain Jack. We are building an Eldar Corsair captain. And so we have to answer, what the heck is an Eldar Corsair captain? Well, I'm glad you asked. The answer is right there in its name. Okay, we're done here.
40K has its share of space pirates. We've got rogue traders, which are basically space pirates. We've got orc freebooters, which are space pirates. And we have Aeldari Corsairs, which are definitely space pirates.
And we have a new pirate group entering.
Oh, the red Corsairs?
Man. Oh, and technically the Red Corsairs. They
Who's
have pirate fleets.
Who's the other one?
Votan are
The
starting
Votan.
pirate fleets.
Nice.
I love that 40K has both Pirates of the Caribbean and Wild Wild West as settings. You have things like desperado gene stealer cultists going up against rootin' tootin' shootin' Skitarii marshals.
Okay, I would watch that show.
So would I. Like, it's Cowboys vs. Aliens, but actually a good movie.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I think we can agree on that.
But like, every setting needs pirates.
Pirates are super rad, and I have enjoyed pirates for a very long time. But we need to tell everybody who's listening to our show who we are. Who are you, Queen Alexis?
So I am Norn Queen Alexis. I am a Viking reenactor, a Warhammer enthusiast, and a commissioned painter. And I got commissioned to paint a lot recently. I've got commissioned to paint 3 whole armies. One has to be done by Friday.
Which 3 armies?
Orcs, Admech, and Guard.
Nice. And which one has to be done just by Friday?
Orcs.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And 2 people commissioned me to finish painting 3, what are they? Big bosses. This guy's from the new Armageddon box. 3 war bosses, again from the Armageddon box. 3 pain boys.
Nice.
Again, Armageddon. So I have to paint up the same 3 models 3 different times. No, sorry. 18 times.
Jesus.
Yeah.
18 times. Okay, that's going to be it. Yeah. I challenge you to do something different.
18 miniatures that are all basically the same 3 models over and over and over again.
So 6 times then, I guess.
Yes.
3 models 6 times. Okay.
Yeah. Yes?
Yes. Okay. Well, still, I challenge you to do something different 6 different times on that.
Hi, everybody. Paint the other guys. So, Ross, who are you?
Hi, my name is Ross Watson. I am a game designer and author. I have worked on a whole bunch of Warhammer 40k stuff, including the majority of the Warhammer 40k roleplay line, several Warhammer 40k video games. I was also part of the US White Dwarf team for a few years. And if you like the lore for the Dark Heresy, the Inquisition, Rogue Traders, and or the Death Watch, I worked on a lot of that. Now, today we are doing we're doing a Let's Build. So that means we're going to be polling the audience, our chat, the lore seekers out there, to find out what the Lore Seeker Council decides is true about our particular space elf, space pirate.
Yeah. I love the Corsairs so much because there is one that's near and dear to my heart.
Uriel?
And well, yes, but the one from Battlefleet Gothic, the one that
Oh,
helps
right.
Admiral Spire.
Yes. Yes,
He's
indeed.
he's such a cool character, and I absolutely love him because he's just like Admiral Spire. Shall we dance again? And it's
That
just like
was
I love him so much. And then when Spire disappears for a few hundred years and comes back, he sees him again, and he's just like, "Yes, Admiral Spire, how are you doing? How's the kids?"
it's Prince Eldrathien Voidstinger is that
Yep.
guy. And that is a character I created and wrote all of his dialogue for. So I'm glad you like him.
Yeah. What's really cool about him is that I used him as a canonical point to show that Eldari have bionics.
El-
Bionics.
Eldrathane. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah,
Eldrathane. Oh,
Eldrathane.
no, Uriel has bionics too. So
Yes, he does.
yeah, the Uriel and Eldrathane both have bionic eyes, I believe, as part of their build.
So Sebastian Miller gifted 10 memberships to the Lorebeards. So awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sebastian. That is extremely generous. Sebastian has actually done this a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. So, anybody out there who got a free subscription from Lorebeards, you could probably thank Sebastian Miller because he gives out a bunch of them. Great dude. Oh, if Rain has a bionic arm, according to Devin Urbina, is that true?
Does she?
I don't know about that.
No, I think that might be true. I think her arm did get cut off.
Well, that's quite possible.
No, I gotta recheck that. The only well, they don't write her lore anymore, so
it's the red thing. Is it like C-3PO's red leg?
That has always been like a giant. Like I swear that was fake. I know that it's in the original movies. I've seen the original movies. It is definitely in there that C-3PO has a different colored leg. But oh my god, do I hate it.
So Ivrain definitely does have an arm formed from Wraithbone. So you are correct, Devin Urbina. That's true. Uriel and Ivrain are well known. They both start with Y. Their names both start with Y, and they both have bionics. So apparently, there you go.
I mean, bionics versus like, I'm classifying it as a bionic for this, but you know what I mean.
It's an artificial limb, or artificial
thing
replacement of a body part. I think we can all say that. Hey, Arch Warlock.
Whoop. Yeah,
welcome to the stream. Thank you for the super chat. Can't wait for an orc overview stream. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. For no other reason than to see you two have a rant about how powerful the orc power of belief actually is. You know what? When we do an orc stream, and I want to do one soon, just for you, I will expand the section I was already planning to do on the power of belief. So yes, thank you, Arch Warlock, for bringing that up. This is also the part of the show. Oh, look at that beautiful war buggy or war track. It's war track.
I'm having too much fun with this.
This is the part of the show where I tell everybody that super chats are the absolute best way to support the channel and support the host and keep more content coming to you from Lorebeards. We are grateful to everyone who chooses to support us today. So now I'm trying out something a little bit new today, guys. I have pre-built all of the polls in StreamYard, so let's see if it works. The first poll, can you guys vote in this? Let's see. Type 1 or 2 in chat, it says, to vote on whether we are talking about an Aeldari prince or princess while you are voting. Alexis is going to tell us who the Aeldari are.
So the Aeldari are... Oh, wow, it does work.
It works. Check it out. Boom.
Okay, we know it works. Okay, so the Aeldari are a race of space elves. In fact, their original name was Space Elves, which is hilarious. I love that bit of lore because it makes me happy. What do we call these elves in space? Space elves. What do we call the orcs in space? Space orcs.
Oh, we've got
Marines in space? Space Marines.
We do have a comment from Sebastian Muller who says, so we're clear on it being an Aeldari, not Drukhari. You know, that hasn't been voted on yet. We're just starting out with the Prince or Princess, although I will add a poll for Aeldari or Drukhari.
So, the Aeldari are a race of space elves that are humanoid in shape. and have very similar appearances to humans, though sometimes they have jet black entire eyes, they have very pointed ears. They typically stand a bit taller than the average human in the Imperium, though the average human in the Imperium widely depends on what world you're talking about or if they're in space, because like people born under lower gravity tend to be taller, which is weird. Uh, but the elves are extremely fast, extremely have extremely high levels of technology. They use a tech called Wraithbone, which is a bio psyche
Psychoplastic.
psychoplastic. Thank you. I'm tripping over my words here. That is both natural and unnatural at the same time. It can grow from the ground. They can make it themselves, but that's weird because that's in a codex, and it's still one of the biggest pieces of lore that we hate.
It's actually drawn from the warp using psychic powers. Is how they create it.
Yeah, except now it just grows on planets.
Well, it's basically solidified psychic energy of the warp.
Yeah.
It is it's very psychically responsive. It's a construction material. It's called psychoplastic, and it's shaped by artisans called bone singers. But
who we definitely need back on the tabletop. The
I'm-
Eldar fought in a giant war in heaven. We got there. I knew it was coming.
Woo, there it is. We're in heaven.
The Eldar were created by the Old Ones to fight against the Necrons or Necron tier, but they were the Necrons at the time, depending on which lore source you use for the war in heaven. The Eldar at their peak were so powerful, they were throwing entire celestial bodies around, storms so big that they can cover entire systems. Nowadays, they're not as strong after, yes, the Bone Zone. We're making the Bone Zone. We've talked about the War in Heaven so much in the past. Go watch the videos on that. The Eldar are basically the most pompous idiots in the entire galaxy who have created the biggest mistake ever and blame everybody else for their mistake. I think that's the best way of putting it.
I mean, that is a fun way to say it. Basically, yes. The Bone Zone is a great comment from our chat about Wraithbone and what it does. Oh my god, that's funny. And somebody actually pointed out that it kind of sounds like it can think because it's psychoreactive. I mean, that's a scary thought. That kind of makes me a little worried. Not gonna lie, but.
I mean, I assume it could. If you have wraith constructs, they probably move it on instinct.
Right.
Ooh.
And so they have this giant Aeldari empire that arose in the aftermath of the War in Heaven. The Necrons all went to sleep, and the Aeldari were like, great, the galaxy's ours. And they spread out, and they built this massive empire and dominion. But that empire and dominion came crashing down in an event called the Fall of the Eldar.
It should actually just be called the Rise of Slaanesh.
Speaking of the Rise of Slaanesh, Arch Warlock says if the winner is Princess, and it looks like it might be, you two are required to do Eldar Pirate Yuri.
I don't see a problem with this. In fact, I see this as only a positive.
Wow, that's great.
We'll call it Yuri in space instead of Yuri on ice. I was disappointed when I first watched that. Then I watched the entire show, and I was no longer disappointed. Show was very good.
Revolutionary Princess Utena. This is a
Revolutionary Girl Utena?
Yeah, Princess Utena, I thought, but
yeah,
the title's probably changed over time. Yeah, please, Wesley's, please do not make Slaanesh rise.
Slaanesh is always on the rise.
All right, so I think we're gonna call it. It's a princess. I have got my I've got my document up here, and let's just grab that. I can throw that on the screen.
Does she have a Russian accent? Oh, that could be pretty cool.
All right, let me throw up. Sorry, that's not the right term for talking about Slaanesh, but let me put on the screen the Corsair info so far, so you guys can sort of keep track. Oh god, that's way too small. Oh god, I can't see it.
You got this. I believe in you, Ross. We are professionals here. We know what we're doing sometimes.
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Behold.
Slaanesh
Behold. All All right, and I will occasionally remove that and bring it back up as we go. But Prince or Princess is decided, which I think is really cool. That is our first try of this brand new poll technology.
Brought to you by Slanesh.
Yeah, there's the accents of the Eldari. I'm kind of curious what they would be sound like, honestly. Okay, so tell us about the fall of the Eldar.
Okay, so
Briefly.
the Eldar accidentally, partied way too hard. And usually when you party too hard, the police get called and you get in trouble. Sometimes you get yelled at for being too old to underage drink. And you kind of have that creeping reality of you shouldn't party with these people anymore. But anyway, in the Eldar's case, they partied so much. They went so much into their crazed, creepy, like outlandish things that I can't say because of YouTube. They Gundagat into existence. they Gundagat into existence. I don't know how else to put it. They made it so that the birth of Slanesh happened, and the birth of Slanesh was a storm across the entire galaxy, a scream that devoured so many Eldar instantaneously, shattering their entire beings, their psyche. Only those that were on the far outside of the galaxy, or those that hid away on maiden worlds that were also really far away, managed to, or in another dimension, managed to survive this. The rest of them just got absolutely obliterated by Slanesh, their souls devoured.
This includes the majority of the Eldari gods as well.
Yep, because Cain didn't have his 100 swords to fight Slanesh.
Where was that 100th sword, Cain?
That 100th sword did it.
God damn it, Vol. What are you doing?
If they just made that perfect sword, why didn't they just use that perfect sword first? Then he would never have noticed.
DR686 says, silly question, what's the first option? The Asuryani, which is the term for Craft World Eldar. Apologies if that wasn't clear, but yeah, Asuryani are Craft Worlders, Drukhari are Dark Eldar, Harlequins are Harlequins, and Exodites are Exodites.
So in terms of this, it's samurais, Drukhari, clowns, and dinosaurs. That's your
dinosaurs. I love it. All right, so yeah, that was the fall of the Eldari. It was the moment that Slanesh was born and their civilization collapsed, and then the remnants survived in different factions or tribes, which are basically, they boil down to 5 main groups: the Asuryani, or the Craft Worlders. These are space Eldar Amish. Basically, they're like they've disciplined themselves, more like samurai, I guess, maybe a better way to put it. They've disciplined themselves to try to avoid the excesses that had led to the fall of the Eldari. The Drukhari are like, hell no, we're going to be more hedonistic, and in fact, we're going to keep our souls safe from Slanesh by inflicting pain and suffering on everyone else, and still being like crazy hedonistic, but they have through breeding programs gotten rid of most of their psychers, so they have less concerns about causing another chaos god to be born. Then there's the Harlequins, which are devotees of one of the living Eldari gods, Segorok, and they are his followers. They have become this group of nomadic performers who are also highly dangerous assassins and killers. And
sometimes they just show up and help you out. Sometimes they just show up and murder all of your friends and don't tell you why and leave.
That's true. Very mysterious are the Harlequins. And then there's the Exodites, which are the Luddites, basically. They were like, hey, you know what? We're gonna go back to the land. We're gonna keep all our tech. Like, we still have all our technology, but we're gonna try and put our obsessions to matching more closely with nature and working more closely with the animals in the land of the planet. And they very recently got a kill team, which showed us Exodites for the very first time, which is pretty great.
Ross, do you know what? This is a slight tangent, but it's related to the Eldar. Okay. All right. Are you sitting on the edge of your seat?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? I think the Exodites, instead of just being based off of like old-timey, like, Lost World should be based off of Peter Jackson's King Kong. Those types of creatures. Like monstrous looking creatures. Like have them ride giant bloodworms into battle that devour people.
That would be cool. So
Like let's go full monster with them.
the fifth section of Aeldari are the Corsairs, and the Corsairs are space pirates. They are basically the outcasts. They're the daredevils. They're the people who just don't fit in anywhere else. They come from all walks of life in the Aeldari community, and so actually, you guys just decided that our Corsair happens to be someone who got dissatisfied with the Exodite life and has chosen to live amongst the stars. And part of the reason why Corsairs are considered daredevils, they are the ones whose souls are the most in danger of being devoured by Slaanesh. Because Slaanesh absolutely wants to eat more Aeldari souls. She's always hungering for more Aeldari souls. The craft worlders, the Oceani, they protect themselves with spirit stones. These spirit stones capture the soul upon the moment of death, and then that stone can then be plugged into something called the Infinity Circuit, where all the spirits of the dead can sort of commune and kind of exist together within the wraithbone of a craft world or a world spirit, which is what the Exodites use. So spirit stones are used by the Exodites and the craft worlders, and then there's the Drukhari. They strengthen their souls to keep themselves from fading into Slaanesh's power by inflicting pain and suffering on others. The Corsairs, they are the ones that have the least safety about this because they don't have infinity circuits. They don't have world spirits. They often do carry spirit stones, but not always. And they operate so often on the fringes of Aeldari civilization, so far out from aid and assistance, that if the Corsair fleet were to be attacked and destroyed, their souls would likely just be lost. So they are considered the absolute extreme sports enthusiasts of Aeldari culture. You're living on the edge. Josina says, Alexis, you just want Jakaro Kong.
I do. Give me Big Monkey.
Jakaro Kong would be hilarious.
No, but imagine how scary that would be. He'd have like 10 digilasers that are like gigantic. They'd be like quake cannons on his fingers.
So far we've decided it's a princess. We've decided it's an Exodite. Our next thing we need to decide is where were they born? Now, there is at least one option on here that is nobody's going to pick it. So just to be clear, at least there's actually two options that are just not going to be picked, I think. I selected this early. We may just want to get rid of this because we know our princess's Exodite, but she could have been born elsewhere, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a possibility.
She could have been born somewhere else. So let's let them pick, and then we have to craft the story going with it.
Right.
Maybe they were from Komorra. Maybe they got sick of Komorra, then went to Dinosaur Land, and then were just like, man, all of these dinosaurs are cool, but I want to see other world dinosaurs. Or maybe they're part of the craft world, and they're just like, craft macaroni and cheese sucks. You know, we gotta go along with this. Maybe they were born aboard a Corsair vessel. Another one, they were just a pirate. They went to their a different homeworld. They went to be an Exodite, and then from there, they were just like, "Well, this isn't really working out for me. I want to go on an adventure. I want to hunt. I want to be known for the greatest huntress in the galaxy."
You know, you just pronounced Cormorra. Like I pronounce it Cormorag, like a little bit with a G, but I think you're probably right. And the reason why I think you're probably right is because I think Cormorra is probably based on Gomorrah, like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what I think is probably true. So that's why I think you're right in that pronunciation. And we've got a super chat from Arch Warlock. Man, you're killing it today. Appreciate you. He says, Eldar Pirate Princess X Watercast Tau Yuri. That's hilarious. That would be a hell of a pairing.
Yeah, because I don't even think they could look up to each other.
The Watercast is probably taller.
Well, the Aeldari are usually around 6 foot. The Tau max out at like
They might be
Aircast are the tall ones.
right. You're right. They might be the same height, which would be pretty interesting.
Well, like Firecast is only like 5'4". They're short kings.
They're short. I don't know how tall the Earthcast are. I don't think we've ever seen a miniature for them, but
No, I don't think we've seen Aircast because we've seen the
Mhm.
Forge World miniatures for them.
Correct. And they're tall as hell.
Yeah. Which is cool. But I don't
Yeah.
know if we've ever seen a outside of that. That would be a good kill team.
So I think
I'm down for that.
we have described who the Aeldari are, the fall of the Eldar, the different branches of the Eldar, and we talked about the Corsairs. So the Corsairs are usually they live as fleets, like a small flotilla of Eldari ships, and usually these fleets are led by a pirate prince or princess. By the way, go read Voidsguard by Mike Brooks. Gets into this actually quite a bit.
It
It's
has a
great.
void whale in it. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, it's actually a very good book. I enjoyed it a lot. So go check that one out. I'm reading a Mike Brooks novel right now. I'm reading the Alfarius novel.
It's definitely okay. Contradicts everything, and it's great for showing that 40K is supposed to be unreliable.
Well, the Alpha Legion are the most unreliable of all of them.
Yep.
So there's that.
Oh, and I do want to point this out really quickly. If there is something that you want to add that isn't part of any of these questions, you can just give us a super chat. It helps us out. Blah blah blah. But for like a simple $5 donation, you could add something that isn't in a question either yet, or you want to change something. Like, oh well, I don't want I want our Eldari to be like 6'7". I want them to be really tall, or I want them to be short. And feel free.
So the answer from the poll is they were born in the shadow districts of Cormorra. So we have a Exodite princess born on Cormorra. That's pretty interesting so far. That's a heck of a journey. I dig it. When they left Cormorra, though, what did they leave behind? I think that is the next question. So we will go ahead and throw that one up on the. I'm really liking this new technology. Check it out. This is great.
Oh, we got our first super chat for changing something about her.
She can only speak in sign language? Wow.
Oh, so she's mute.
Interesting.
Oh, that is cool. Oh my god, you know what you could have then? You could have one of her like companions be another mute
or an interpreter.
Or somebody. Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's important to point out that Aeldari in general they have a lot of psychic potential. But if you're born on Cormorra, though, odds are very low that you have a lot of psychic potential because that has been essentially bred out of them over the centuries by Asdrubal Vec, the tyrant who rules over Cormorra, because he doesn't want psychers in his realm. And the reason I bring this up is because a mute Aeldari typically would use telepathy to communicate, but in this case, maybe not so much. So that's an interesting point to bring up with the origin that we just decided on.
I like that. And again, if somebody wants to change it, that's all you need is a $5 donation. You could be like, she only speaks to certain people in sign language, or go for it. Now, when it comes to being born in Cormorra, I have a couple of things I want to add to this. I imagine that she was some kind of game hunter. Like this is where the thrill of being not a Corsair, but an Exodite comes in. She was probably hunting some of those shadowy creatures that are in Cormorra that we don't know much about.
Shade ravens, right? Like the shade ravens, yeah.
Or the razor flocks, or even the Yorghouls, or maybe at some point she killed one of the grotesques that live down there. I could definitely see her getting this thrill of wanting to kill larger creatures, and then she was she sought out the larger and larger creatures, and eventually brought her to an Exodite realm, and that's where she lived for a while, and then became something more from there.
So she could have been hunting Urguls, Medusae, don't forget about them.
Oh, Medusae, yeah.
And there's the Chimerae, the Clawed Fiends, the Razorwing Flocks.
Kroot, technically.
I mean, you can hunt a lot of stuff at Cormorra because they keep a lot of weird stuff there, just for
gene stealers,
for gladiatorial purposes, typically for displays in their spectacles in their arenas.
Could
That's
also unleash her to hunt like inquisitors that get in there.
I like the idea that she was a big game hunter, like an Exodite hunter. That the Dark Eldar are like, yeah, we would like you to work for us. I mean, there are Beastmasters, right? There's groups within the Dark City that would want to have access. It makes perfect sense that there would be people like this, and it makes perfect sense that the Exodites would be one of those groups you would reach out to. Slith are not a beast; they are sentient, Professor Shap and Survivor. So to be clear, you certainly can hunt them, but they're not beasts. Wow. The four-armed snake folk. Yeah, that's the Slith.
So what do they leave behind?
Correct. This is where we're at currently. And we're going to give you just
family and future. Oh, that's so sweet. She's such a nice person. She left her like darling sibling behind to get devoured by shadow monsters.
We did a whole episode on mandrakes. You can go check that out. We did an episode on exodites. You can go check that out. We've done an episode on Armageddon, which was mentioned many times in the early part of the show. One of the things about as we get further into our second season, I think we're going to be saying this an awful lot. Hey, we have an episode on this. Go watch it.
Yep.
But trust me, there is so much lore in Warhammer 40K that I am not kidding. I have a list of topics that is like over a mile long. It's just huge. Don't worry, we're not going to run out of anything to talk about anytime soon. But I love the show. Alexis loves the show, and we are enjoying bringing you weekly lore contents here on Lorebeards 40K, getting into the deep dives, talking about the crazy stuff in the lore. And I think one of my favorite parts is actually theory crafting and designing and creating things like this, like the Let's Build that we're doing like today. This is just one of many Let's Builds that we have done. We've created some really cool stuff.
And again, aside from just voting in these polls here, which I'm assuming I'm pointing to, I hope I am. But aside from voting in these polls, if there is something you want to change about this character or just add to them like a personal detail or something, or part of their origin story, for a $5 donation, you could give us a simple thing that we could add. You can't be like, oh, she's actually like has 12 different arms and 8 feet, but within reason. Okay. So, yeah, like, if you want her to be a monster hunter, if you want her to be somebody who had a former lover that was eaten by a dinosaur, these are things you could do.
Well, she left behind a respected family and future, according to the chat. So, again, this is where we are right here. Oh, Ricky Chapman. Are you adding something?
I think this is.
I think he is. Ricky Chapman is our local role-playing game enthusiast, so he usually talks to us about his campaign.
This says, a fellow big game hunter, my rogue trader may have a future rival.
Oh no, this is I think he's just commenting. I don't know if he's actually establishing a fact here.
Okay, well, if you want to throw a name in here to be a rival for her,
yeah,
donate $5. You can. Just saying that. Biofoot.
She's Pan and has left a trail of broken hearts and shattered headboards light years long.
All right, you know what? That's got to be added
wow, to it. I love it. Okay. I'm typing it out. You're going to have to talk while I'm typing it because I can't do it.
Okay. So I'm assuming that one of her former lovers in this case was left behind on Kimura. I absolutely love this because LGBT representation within Warhammer 40K is actually quite is growing in popularity, which I really like, though the majority of characters are still straight. So just want to state that so no one comes in here like, you're gayifying Warhammer. And I'm like, you're goddamn right I am. Jokes aside, how the heck do the Exiled one? Okay. I read this as the exit done at first, but the Exiled one. She has 3. What is that?
Chimera hunting hounds. Why don't you actually? I can talk about this for a little bit if you want to grab a picture of them so we can show that off.
Yes, of course.
But they have a model. They're basically warp dogs.
Oh, I know what they are.
They look kind of like skinless creatures. Yeah, they look flayed.
They're really, really cool.
New polls coming up, everybody. It's going to be what made them first infamous. Like, what is what's the thing that made them a known Corsair, a known pirate princess? and the options are up there. Everybody can look and see what they want to vote on. Corsairs, as I said before, they're space pirates. They tend to raid and attack lots of other things. Hey, there's pictures of Chimerae. There they are. Look at those boys. Look at them.
Happy.
I think
they're actually kind of cute.
Pretty sure that's from the card game from way back in the day. I think that's from the card game from the early 2000s. Yeah, the Chimerae are cute. They got like these weird bony heads and these like extra limbs on their backs, and they look like they're skinless red with long tongues. They're kind of disgusting, but yeah, they are absolutely native to Cormorant, and they I believe they're born in the warp, aren't they? The Chimerae. This is not an episode about the Chimerae, but happy to talk about them.
I love this. I think they're really cute. That one is just, it wants affection. Like, I would run up to it and be like, "Who's your girlfriend? Who's your girlfriend?"
They're not cute. Yeah, they're warp beasts. Yeah, they apparently form from fear and nightmares on demon worlds. That's interesting.
That's how I was summoned. What?
The Drukhari seek them out during dream quests and bind them into packs and unleash them in real space as hunting animals or arena weapons. That's really... okay, now I want to know a lot more about the dream quests that they take to get these guys. That's kind of awesome. Holy shit.
Do they have to fight Freddy Krueger?
Right? They have to fight Freddy. That's wild. That's wild. Okay. So when you become a Corsair, like I said, you are leaving things behind. It is the most famous Corsair of all is, of course, Prince Uriel of Craftworld Ayenden, and he has returned numerous times to aid his craft world against Tyranid forces and other things. But generally speaking, when you become a Corsair, you are only very rarely going to return back to your home. And most of the time, you're not going to stay very long, because the path of the Corsair, or the path of the outcasts, I should say, is one where you embrace a life of freedom. And returning to the stratified realms of Cormorant or craft worlds in general, I would presume that Exodites also are pretty stifling in certain ways, right? Because it's all about the obsessions and the fixations that you get as an Aeldari. Your emotions are so strong, you kind of have to fixate on something. And for the Corsairs, they fixate on being free. Adventure.
Loose says, Alexis, you can call them cute all you want. I respectfully disagree. You know what? That means I get more cuddles.
All right, let's close down this poll really quick so we can get our answer. The answer is they won a
duel in Komora.
Yup.
Now, Biofoot, did they win against a former lover?
Oh shit! So, yeah, duels are common in Cormorant. They're less common in craft worlds and stuff like that. And people out there are probably like raising their eyebrows, like, why is Ross talking about Cormorant being so stratified and stifling? It actually is, believe it or not. Like, the fact that they embrace hedonism and they go all out in search of excess and sensation, those things cause the society of Cormorant to be very strict in that you are constantly watched. You are constantly being evaluated as to whether you're a threat or an ally, or whether you could switch sides. There's a very paranoid aspect.
2 seconds.
Sure.
Because I think my Kovu just got his claws stuck in his
Oh no.
Yeah. 2 seconds. I gotta save my orange idiot.
Poor cat.
I know, buddy.
So where was I? Yeah, so you can think of Cormorant as a place that would on the surface appear to be one of freedom, but it really isn't. It is you have a place, and that place is very strictly controlled, typically by the influence of Azrael Vect, the overlord, if you will, of that region. All right, so we've got that poll here. So yeah, they won a duel. They won a duel in Cormorant. That's pretty impressive. Maybe they did it in the arenas, or maybe they did it in a really flashy manner of some kind, because that's how they started their legend, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have to be something pretty cool and important. We'll have to think about that. I'm going to put it up on the screen so everybody can keep track of where we are.
But we do have a super chat really quickly from Ricky Chapman.
Oh my God!
Can you translate? Okay. How the heck do you say this name?
Riantha.
All right.
Riantha Trithjane.
All right, I like it. So that's their rival.
Is it?
Well, we did ask them for a name for their rival.
Is that the rival? Is that who? Okay, I'm just double checking. If that's the rival, then that's the rival.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure until we get another one from Ricky Chapman, I'm going to assume that that's the rival.
Okay. Then that's what we're going with for that.
Okay.
And I'm about to put up the next poll. How does the crew describe our princess? And there are the options. You guys could vote on that. I'm going to take down that for now. This is going pretty well. I'm actually pretty happy about the way the technology is working out in this polls. This may be the way we do polls from now on.
This is way better.
I know, right? Like, I don't have to type it all out as we go. I can type it out ahead of time and set it up.
So, how does the crew deal with our rogue trader? Are they happy with her? Are they mad with her? Is she cold? Is she nice? Is she as charismatic as me?
Hey.
Is she terrifying? Is she... Was that last one possessed by a dead pirate?
Well, it can happen.
Yeah, you know, every now and then a little bit of demonic possession never hurt anyone.
Well, it doesn't have to be demonic.
Well, yeah, in this case, it's a long dead pirate, so it's probably another Corsair.
So something that is definitely established, at least by Asuryani lore, is that the spirit stones on the armor of the Exarchs and the armor of the Phoenix Lords, they form sort of gestalt consciousnesses of everyone who's worn that armor before. So if you think of a Corsair as kind of like a 007 or a Dread Pirate Roberts, if you will, hey, there's pirate connection. That could be a title that's passed on along with the spirit stones of the former captains. That's at least where I was going when I put that down. It was like Dread Pirate Roberts. Here we go.
Okay, I like that.
Ooh,
I was also thinking.
I was also
thinking that she uses dead Aeldari as weapons.
Check out this one from Devin Armina.
She's Drukhari that possessed by an Exodite. Ooh, I like it.
Right? He's suggesting that she may be a Drukhari body possessed by an Exodite spirit. Yeah, ooh, the lore seeker's like, hey-oh. All right, so
Biofoot, I get that joke.
Rush is asking me to read off what we've got so far, so I will do that. So far, we have chosen that our prince is a princess, and she can only speak in sign language. She is mute. She is pan and has left a trail of broken hearts and shattered headboards light years long. She has a rival and former lover, Riantha Trithjane, which is translated as the Starlight Storm. Her origin is that of an Exodite, although we are still working on like maybe how that works out exactly. And she has 3 chimera hunting hounds that flesh out the bigger beasties. She was born in the shadow districts of Komorra. She left behind a respected family and future. And what made them first infamous, her first bout of infamy, was winning a duel in Cormorant. So that is where we are so far. And okay, wow. Some people know her as Peggy, says Biofoot. Oh, damn, Biofoot. I'll tell you what, that guy has got a very wicked sense of humor. I dig it. All right, so we'll stop the poll here. The answer is by 40%. You can actually track this. I love the fact you can see how many people voted for each entry. Possessed by a long dead pirate.
Ross, I don't have to jump between different screens to try to find it.
Right? Now, it's important to point out that this is how the crew describes them. Okay? So this is not necessarily the truth, but it is certainly how the crew describes them. They're like, oh, yeah, she's possessed by the spirit of, Captain Starblade or whatever. You could pick some other, it doesn't necessarily have to be true. That's why I kind of phrased it that way. But I think it's an interesting way to look at it. So the crew describes them as being possessed by a long dead pirate, which could be the truth.
It's Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow, for me as a kid, it was definitely like pirate Captain Blood. Was one of those, Errol Flynn and all that. So All right, so well, now the next one is, how did our pirate claim command, our Corsair? Because claiming command is not easy. In the novel Voidsguard, this is actually a big factor in it. It's like how you become a pirate prince. So it typically involves violence of some kind.
Ross, it's very easy. You just look at a spaceship and call dibs. And if no one else calls dibs, they have to respect the intergalactic rule of dibs.
Are we making Eldar Luther Harkon? Asks insert Corey there. I mean, in a way, it's not that far off from Luther Harkon, which is kind of great. Oh my gosh, it's kind of great.
Okay.
But
there we are. Okay.
Are you caught up?
Yes, I'm trying to make sure I get everything on this screen to where it's supposed to be. But for some reason, when I hit enter, it just decided to take the screen and go, whoop.
You know, for our viewers and listeners out there, this show can seem like it's just two people sitting and yakking about 40K and having a good old time. And to be fair, that is a chunk of time that we do that. That is true. But there is work that goes into these episodes. We do spend time researching. We spend time collecting our notes, making polls, switching between screens, making sure we have notes up. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you may think.
I think the thing that most people don't know that we do is we have to read entire novels in like 2 days before we talk about a topic, so we know that we're as accurate as we can be.
Like, I'm not even always capable of reading a novel that quickly. So
yeah, it gets kind of crazy. So let's talk about our choices here. We have Inheritance, which, in my opinion, is a bit kind of lame. Like, oh yeah, here you go, random dude or dudette in this case.
Dudette for sure.
You won it in a challenge of blades. That I really like. I love the idea of betting somebody. Like, they just went for pink slips on spaceships. That's amazing.
Yes. Oh, deep cut. Love it.
Yeah. Previous captain vanished. Maybe they possessed them. Honestly, that one really works with our last comment, our last answer. And I really, really like the idea that the captain went missing and she took over. And now they just believe that the former captain is possessing her. It's a really sick idea. And like, I'm just imagining the crew has stories about the captain because the captain can't speak and everything. And a lot of them can't understand them. And they're just standing there like, I once saw them talking to a ghost. That ghost is obviously the one possessing them. And these are just tales that the crew will tell each other to pass time on a spaceship because, you know, there's not a lot to do. Then we have Awoken from Stasis as a captain. That one kind of screams Fallout protagonist.
Honestly, there's a few inspirations there. There's a really great space military fiction series called The Lost Fleet that I really like.
I know that one.
And The Lost Fleet begins with Captain Blackjack Geary waking up from stasis, and they're like, "We need you to take over the fleet." It's literally the beginning of the book.
Is that the story where to catch up to they try to show that you can't ever catch up to somebody in light speed?
I think that's a plot point, but anyway, it was inspired by a few things. Also, Captain Shepard from Mass Effect.
Fair enough.
Specifically Mass Effect 2.
But yeah, were so good back in the day. The first
they were.
The first two were amazing.
Absolutely true. Ooh, Exiled One coming in with a super chat says she stole the weapon that shoots the plague of glass and keeps the victims as trophies for the ship.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. Holy shit. That's pretty rad.
So she's got a museum of glass on the ship. That's amazing. That is absolutely okay. So I'm imagining on her ship, by like part of the ship is a museum, right? Like as you
gotta be a gallery.
As you walk to the command throne, there's got to be just glass statues everywhere of like creatures and people that she's killed. And I guarantee there's going to be 2 large creatures there, like carnosaurs, that are just made out of glass. And she can constantly, slightly feel the agony from them because Eldar can just inherently feel pain of everyone near them. It's just the Drukhari chop that up to like 11 and eat it.
The Drukhari are far more sensitive to it, I should say.
Yes.
The glass plague, for people who don't know, is a Drukhari engineered bioweapon. It's an airborne virus that rapidly transforms the flesh into black glass-like crystal. It originated in Cormora. It's terrifying to Drukhari, particularly because it offers the victims a true death. Homunculi cannot restore you from being turned into crystals.
Oh, gods, that's so dark. I love
Right?
how dark our joke characters become.
I mean, well, this isn't even a joke character. Corsairs are inherently serious.
Oh yeah, that
But
is true. This isn't an orc freeboot.
this is not an orc freeboot. It's tongue in cheek. This is the Corsairs are maybe a little more lighthearted than I would say most Aeldari, though. They're certainly more lighthearted than Drukhari in general and Osearani in general.
Fair.
So, all right, but yeah, that's
it's not as scary as our Captain Faceflaya shooting dementia rabies at their enemies.
You really that was a crazy let's build. That was absolutely a crazy
so
let's
good.
build.
That is my favorite let's build.
I still like the Rogue Trader one a lot, but you're right. That's a good one. Also, the Lost Legion that we built was really, really fun as well.
Yeah, that was fun too.
So our Corsair princess, she won her command in a challenge of blades.
Now we have a question here. What did she put up that could equal that of a ship?
Maybe it's a pride thing. Corsairs and Aeldari in general are extremely prideful. They consider themselves better than just about everyone else. And even the sub-factions, like the Exodites think they're the best Eldar. The Craftworlders think they're the best Eldar. So there's plenty of reasons for someone to get into a duel. Voidsguard, by the way, has several duels over pride, over whether do you not respect me, sir? So it could be pride, but it could also be something like a ship. It could be rights like mining rights or the rights to a group of slaves or a particularly valuable route in the webway. There's a lot of things it could be. Treasure, any kind of pirate treasure that you can imagine.
She might have information about like hidden creatures on Camera.
Yeah, for example. That's a good one.
Oh, Biofoot.
She put up her family. Oh, god damn. Oh, that's dark. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh my god.
Also,
are we ready?
I love you.
Okay, so Devin Urbina is saying that the Lore Seekers will eventually force Ryan and Andy to make an orc war boss that's also Faceflaya, and you can watch them die inside.
Hell yeah.
All right, so our next poll is up. It's about what is the philosophy of our princess. Wow, that's amazing.
Ross,
anyway,
here's a personal question. What is your philosophy?
As a space pirate?
Well, as just yourself, because mine is Tatararas.
Which is what?
It means no worries for the rest of your days.
Oh, Cthulhu
Icelandic people get super pissed when you make that joke.
Cthulhu Fatagan.
But
what a wonderful phrase.
I wanted to just make that joke, but I just go with the flow.
Nice. I'm a big believer in freedom. I love freedom. So that first option is freedom is worth any risk. And if I was to pick from the poll, that would absolutely be my choice. My favorite D&D character of all time was a plane hopping warrior who freed slaves across the multiverse. So just so you know.
All right, that's noble and everything, but booty.
Pirate booty, right?
Yes.
Pirate booty?
Big booty is really nice. Just saying. Eldar booty?
Do you like big booty and you cannot lie?
It turns out that my brothers could not deny.
When a Corsair walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face. The plunder is a big part of being a Corsair. They in the book Voidsguard, which again is a excellent look at Corsair life, they describe how ostentatious the pirate princes and the nobles of the fleet dress. They will often wear lots of jewels, not necessarily spirit stones, but certainly at least one spirit stone, probably. and they will wear they will have like gold inlaid weapons, and they will have this really ornate clothes. They go all out. They want people to see them and be seen. They are not to be hiding in the background, because that's not what you would do if you became a Corsair. If you're going to live a short life, you're going to live a very short but memorable life.
Yeah. I love in that book that they explain that whole philosophy may have actually had outside inspiration and not Aeldari inspiration, because they saw how other captains were behaving, and they're just like, well, I'm a captain. I have to be glamorous. I want a giant pelt on my back. And I love the fact that other Aeldari kind of think it's silly, but also show them like a lot of respect for it. It's great. Ooh.
It looks like
The
we have an
exiled
answer here, so I'm going to go
The
ahead
exiled
and...
one had a really good one.
That's a cool idea. Black glass ornaments for her clothes. That's a good way to subtle reminder of one of her most dangerous weapons. All right, so the poll says that shared plunder equals loyalty. That is the philosophy of our Corsair.
Which is actually something that pirates, I can't say all pirates, obviously, but a good chunk of pirates during the age of piracy did do. They did share their plunder for the most part equally. Captains did get paid a bit more, and they did put money aside for insurances and things like that. But a lot of them were former Navy, so they did know how to pay their crew and everything. And if the crew was working for equal pay, as most of them were, they worked harder.
You typically got more shares as a pirate crew based on your responsibility. So if you were just a standard pirate crew deckhand, you got like a share. But if you were a quartermaster, you got maybe 2 shares. If you were a ship's doctor, you probably got 3. The cook got an extra share. The captain and the first mate, of course, had several shares. The bosun had shares. So there was the plunder was shared out, but certain people got a little bit more based on their responsibility.
Ooh. Ricky Chapman coming in with Mora.
Mora,
that's the name of our princess. It translates to wise death. I like that. I like that a lot.
The wise death of Mora. Okay, Mora's a good name. I'm down. I have added it to the sheet there. You can now see that her name is Mora. Thank you, Ricky Chapman. All right, and now we've got yet another poll question to answer, which is, what is their greatest weakness?
Me.
I mean, if you want to say, I kind of wish I could alter this now. This is one of the downsides of the polls for StreamYard, is I can't change them once they're up. But I kind of wish I had put, attractive companions as an option for greatest weakness.
I mean, that is my weakness in every single game I play, ever. Just hands down. Is there a chance to have an awkward relationship with one of my friends? I'm doing it. We do got somebody who's a member for 7, the exiled one, for 7 months. Hell yeah. Digging this character so far. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a member.
Listen, the show is evolving. Lorebeards, we're growing, we're changing, we're adding new technology. We are responding to both the wishes of our audience and like the experience that we've gained as we go along. I'm trying out, by the way, we're doing something new with polls for what are not the polls in this episode, but polls for what we do in the future. For example, I should tell you that we are going to put up a poll for next Wednesday's show directly after this show is over. You go to YouTube, Wolf Boy, and that's there's a posts. You go to the posts tab on YouTube, and that's where you can vote on what we're going to do next week. We will announce the winner of the poll for next Wednesday after our Saturday show. So if you stay tuned, or not at the end of our Saturday show. So if you stay tuned during the Saturday show, you'll hear us announce what we're going to cover on Wednesday, and we'll just keep doing that. We'll leapfrog from one to the other. And I think that's probably a better way to do it, because you guys will then know what the winner is and what you can hype for as we approach our shows, because we do broadcast every Wednesday and every Saturday from 2 to 5.
Also, if you are asking how you vote in this, in the chat, you just type in your answer 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Correct. Yeah, it's actually on the it's actually part of the poll on screen. Tells you how to do it. It's underneath the title at the top there. I love this comment from the exiled one. She's silent as the void, but brighter than any star. Also, the pen is great.
Honestly, can we make this a quote from the first mate?
You know what? I think we can. I think we can.
Because that's funny.
I'll add that in there. That's really good.
Alrighty, so she cannot refuse any challenge. Like, that's me. If somebody's like, bet, I'm just like, all right, we're fighting now. Alexis will lose. That's fine. Trust only a few people. Well, she clearly trusts a lot of people. Let's put that out there.
I've been accused of being paranoid in the past, so.
Well, everyone else is wrong. You're clearly correct.
I mean, I don't know. Doesn't mean they're not after you. Just saying. And then all insults are personal. I mean, I think we all know people like that, right? That take things way too personal. Oh my god,
I have one friend I can't make any joke with at all because they're just like that. So I constantly make jokes at their expense and then fully mean it.
And the last one is she can receive orders from the dead. So this is actually a true thing in lore. The dead souls of Aeldari can survive within the Spirit Stones, and they can be communicated with. They can speak to a certain extent of speaking. So yeah, that would be kind of wild too. And to be honest, that would be A, creepy, and B, concerning. Because if you're a Corsair aboard that ship, you're like, well, that's just a soul inside a stone. Like, what does it know about what I want? What does it know about what I need?
I thought of the dumbest thing possible. Like, somebody just died. You look at the magic space rock and it's like, hey, make sure to pick up my DoorDash. You could have it.
Wow. Ooh. Yikes. We actually have a tie at the moment, so I'm going to give you guys 30 more seconds and then we'll close this out. But you know what happens when we get a tie.
I don't know. Magic space rock telling me what to do is always fun. But not being able to refuse any challenge sounds really fun. Like, I'm torn between those two.
Okay, it looks like receives orders from the dead is going to be the winner.
Alrighty.
Let's stop that poll. All right, so receives orders from the dead is the weakness, and you know this really scary part is this particular princess can't talk about it. She can only she doesn't speak, right? She signs. She signs. So yeah, that would make it even more creepy, I think, which is kind of great. But their greatest weakness receives orders from the dead.
Oh. So she's just a goth. You know, I was just gonna say, like, I hate when the dead talk to me because it's never interesting. It's always like weird shit.
Not for nothing, but the first line in the opening crawl of Rise of Skywalker is "The dead speak." You know, that's the ones, you know, same movie where somehow Palpatine survived.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I bring that up? I just love torturing myself, I think.
Look, in the extended universe, Palpatine also survived.
The extended universe, it's crazy. Yes. I, for one, am very glad the Star Wars extended universe is basically gone. And I say that having contributed to it. So there's that. Anyway, now our next question is what's the flagship? And I did this specifically for you, Alexis. You know why? Because now you get to talk about the different types of ships that the Aeldari use in Battlefleet Gothic.
But they're all the same boat.
They're not. They're absolutely not. I have a cruiser, I have a light cruiser, I have a battle cruiser, and I have a battleship.
That is true.
I specifically chose different ones.
I do like the dragon ship. That is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It has melta weapons.
Before you get into what they are, though, we do have a super chat from Drazina Quaishin, who says she is perpetually distracted, and the rest of the crew, their whole job is to keep her from sacrificing loot for something. Also, someone added Jakaro companion. Okay. I will do my best here, Drazina, but that's a pretty good one. Now, I'm going to hide this. But
I do like that the answer itself got distracted from answering its own answer.
And now I'm going to let you talk about the ships of the Aeldari.
Oh my god, I was not prepared for this. I'm gonna talk about just the one that won. I'm gonna make sure I am correct. And I can't spell for some reason.
Well, I actually misspelled eclipse, which is embarrassing. Apologies, everyone.
I mean, it looked correct to me, but I have dyslexia.
So our options are a sleek and immaculate Eclipse cruiser, which is actually my favorite cruiser of the Aeldari. Not fun fact in Battlefield Gothic, it's actually far more effective to not field capital ships and instead go all escorts all the time. Second option.
I strongly disagree with that. You
It's
run light cruisers and that's it, and 2 escorts to just spy on your opponent's army, and then you light them up with Nova cannons.
Second option is a patched together Void Stalker. That's the battleship. The third option is a Ghost Crew Dragon ship. And the last one is a well-armed Aurora light cruiser.
So the Dragon ship is a generic term for an Eldar class of ship. It's all within that scope and design, and I will get a picture of this in just a moment.
Drazina says the super chat wouldn't let him type booty.
What?
Distracted by booty. That's
okay.
That's why. Okay.
Let me see if I can grab just this. Would it be this one? Yes. Okay. Let's add this to the stage.
That is a dragon ship. Look at that thing.
Yep. So this one right here is the dragon.
Right in the middle.
Yep. And then you have the Aeldari flagship. This is the
Light of Assyrian, I believe.
Yeah. Then we got another type of dragon ship over here.
That's a
and then we got the escorts.
The one on the bottom right is a race ship, which is specifically a dragon ship that is crewed by the spirits of the dead.
Yep.
But dragon ships can also be. They're all their versions of dragon ships. All three of those, to be clear.
Now, what's really cool about the Aeldari ships is that they have these giant sails on them, and
solar
these sails allow them to absorb solar light to make their ships go faster, more maneuverable. But they have to constantly battle with keeping the sail within the light itself. So as they get further and further away from stars, their ships become less and less effective. But that's where hollow fields come in, because you can't kill what you can't properly see. Aeldari vessels are extremely maneuverable, can dodge point-blank shots, are incredibly apt at teleportation momentarily for spinning, things like that. It's not teleportation, but they have a type of thruster on their ship that allows the ship to just do a full 360 and rocket backwards. And fighting them is like fighting everything around them and them at the same time, because you never know where they properly are, because you'll see one ship in front of you, you'll lock onto it, you'll fire, and the ship is actually way off to the side of that original ship because of their hollow fields. I love these types of ships. They're so cool, but they are made of glass, essentially. One Nova Cannon hit basically destroys their entire... Well, one Nova Cannon hit destroys every ship in all of any setting.
Not quite. The Planet Killer can survive.
It depends what the ammunition of the Nova Cannon.
No. Well, I mean, okay, a standard Nova Cannon shot cannot insta-kill the Planet Killer, but it can insta-kill just about most other vessels, yeah.
It also can't one-shot Glorianas and Arc Mechanicus's in the game. It's strictly in the game itself. So it takes 2.
I should also mention here that I have been corrected. Wraithbone is, in fact, stronger than most other materials for 40k. It is very, very strong as a material and for construction. So you have to chalk up the fragility in the rules of these ships to something else, which is possibly the lack of crew to repair things, or just the construction is built in such a way that it makes the more crucial elements of the ship's construction closer to the surface. I'm not sure, but bottom line, Wraithbone is like absolutely super strong, but in the rules, it's expressed as Aeldari ships and constructs typically tend to be relatively fragile.
Well, one of the big things, Ross, is that they lack any type of like proper like shielding, like the Imperial vessels. Where the Imperial vessels are
They
known
have
for their
void shields.
toughness because of their void shields.
Well, also they have incredibly high armored prows for the Imperium. I should point that out as well.
Which I make heavy use of as I plow through enemy vessels.
Fun fact, Battlefield Gothic is one of the few games where I play Chaos. I love playing Chaos in Battlefield Gothic. Big fan.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, so that is what a dragon ship is, and the Lore Seekers have spoken. That is our flagship. What is the name of our flagship, everybody?
Oh. Okay, there we go.
All right, and if you don't like these options, there is a way to fix it. Give us a super chat and you can name it something else. But this is what the options are for now.
All right. Oh, dang it. Hang on. I accidentally closed out our PDF. Okay. I got it back.
And I will put up on the screen where we currently are. So just a quick recap. Born on Cormorag, can only speak a sign language. She's mute. She is a very well-established lover of all companions, but she's often distracted by companions. And the crew has to kind of keep her from sacrificing loot for companionship, shall we say. She has a rival and her former lover, Rianta Rithjane, the Starlight Storm, and she won a duel against this person in Cormorag. That's the thing that made them infamous. She left behind her respected family and a future. She's Exodite born and from the Shadow Districts of Cormorag. The crew describes her as being possessed by a long dead pirate. She claimed command in a challenge of blades, and she stole a weapon that shoots the plague of glass and keeps the victims as trophies for the ship in a special gallery. I need to make sure to mark that out. Her philosophy is that shared plunder equals loyalty, and her greatest weakness is that she receives orders from the dead. Her name is Mora, which translates to the Wise Death.
Hell yeah. That's one hell of a character so far.
I like this. I like where we're going. This is going some really interesting places.
Rush in here with I like the distracted driver.
I mean, we are all a little bit distracted drivers today. I'm juggling quite a few things at the moment, but it's fine. It's fine. This is actually really exciting. I have shaken off my lethargy from lunchtime, and I'm actually pretty thrumming with energy. This is great. I feed on creativity, people. It soothes my soul. Like a Drukhari feeds on the suffering of others, I feed on the creativity.
I wonder if they have like the Monsters Inc. Mentality, the Drukhari. We feed on fear. Yeah, but what about laughter?
I mean, that's the Harlequin, right? It's like, have you tried performing a massive play?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sebastian Miller is taken off. See you later, Sebastian Miller. Thank you for being here. The options for the flagship's name. I know people have been asking me to read things out loud. The Laughing Gale is one option. Nobody likes that so far. The Last Promise of Isha, which I thought was a fun one.
That is a good name.
Liliet's Revenge, which is a great pirate ship name. And The Unwritten Voyage, which is like also a really good one for Corsairs. Wolfboy says the solar sails remind him of the ships from Treasure Planet. Yeah, not too far off.
Yeah, they definitely weren't inspired by that. Probably not, actually.
Timing on that is going to be close, actually. Yeah. I don't know for sure. But yeah, this is our Pirate Prince Corsair. If you want to check out our other Let's builds, we have lots of them. We have done several Let's builds. I want to say we have like 6 or 7. Let's see. We've got the Rogue Trader, the Freebooter.
I'm not gonna do it.
What? Oh. Sorry. Sorry. We have at least a half a dozen of them. God, I'm getting old, everybody. I lose my mind. I say something that's actually, gets everybody riled up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh my god.
I mean, that's the fun part of it.
All right, so it looks like the answer is going to be, I'm going to give you guys just about 10 more seconds, so get your last votes in here, but it looks like everybody's saying The Unwritten Voyage. The Unwritten Voyage is a really cool name because it kind of suggests that this is the beginning of a journey rather than the end. I really like that.
And then she died, and that's the end. I'm joking.
Not necessarily. Remember, you could potentially pass on an identity like Dread Pirate Roberts if you wanted to.
I was just thinking the Soul Stone isn't like a Pokeball; it's more like a Digivice. Somebody's gonna get that and be like, Alexis, shut up.
I heard the Digimon are the champions, but that was a
Oh
long
my
time.
God, Ross.
Just saying.
That's good. That's good.
All right, so we're gonna stop this poll because oh shit, we got a
you
tie. We got a tie. I stopped it just in time. We got a tie on the ship name. The rules are, if we get a tie, we have to use both, right? That's the rule. So it is Lilia's Revenge plus the Unwritten Voyage. So maybe Revenge of the Unwritten Voyage.
Or it's 2 ships. Ooh.
How would you do that? Two sister flagships, maybe?
Yeah. One for her rival, one for her.
Oh, she keeps her rival ship around to remind herself, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Unless anybody's got a better idea, we're going to go with the idea that there's 2 ships, and one of them is the Unwritten Voyage, and one is the Lilia's Revenge.
Yep. One is piloted by her lover. One is piloted by her. He is the overall captain, obviously. We all know who's in charge here. Yes. Me, right?
All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, I have no one to blame but myself.
Ooh,
I clicked it at the wrong time.
This is also a good one. Wolf Boy in here saying
it could be the old name
versus the new.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? I could make a whole new poll, but I really don't want to. Alexis, you choose. You pick what the answer is.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on, because I like both of them. I like Wolf Boy's answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, I like the old name versus the new name. We got to go with that.
Okay, old name versus new name. It will be what it is. Yep. I'm going to put up the next question while I change that on the main thing, and I'd like you to talk about this because the next question is, what makes the flagship unusual?
Right as I take a bite of sour candy. Wow, that was sour.
Woo, boy.
That hit the back.
Got that bitter beer face going.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you just decided to rebel against the Emperor and lead half the galaxy against the other half. That's how bitter you look.
The Super Orlock in here with the cute face.
Oh, thanks, Super Orlock. Appreciate the super chat, sir.
All right, so we have that it has super powerful engines. Obviously, these engines are painted red because they go faster. A hidden webway gate aboard her ship, possibly to this ghost that keeps talking to her, and no one else knows about it. Covered in vibrant murals, does that say?
Yeah, it's basically like one of those vans from the 70s. It's got all these amazing art on the side of it. Wizards and shit.
It do be like it's a Scooby-Doo mobile.
The mystery machine. The mystery machine did not have murals. It had just like a weird paint job. But there were a lot of vans with murals back in the 70s.
Yeah. Wraithbone Chambers also sounds really, really cool. Though that does sound like somewhere where you go to have intimate relationships.
So Ricardo's saying that the murals are not very Aeldari. They are very artistic. They do follow their passions. And it would not be beyond belief to have an outlandishly painted, shall we say, perhaps even garish ship.
What? The Eldar doing something to an excess? Nah.
Right? I mean, it could happen, especially if you're from Corsair. And possibly, if you are an Exodite, which our character is an Exodite, then you're coming from a place that is very back to nature, and you may be like, you know what, screw it, I'm going out in the stars, and I'm going to let everybody know just how awesome I am by painting my ship.
That is true, but I do like the bone chambers.
The bone zones.
We do have a membership for 7 months here.
Darius Rose, thank you so much. Darius Rose asks, do you think Gazgul could become a Krork eventually? No. The Krorks came first and devolved into the Orcs. doesn't seem likely that you could reverse that process to me.
I mean, I would assume that he'd become a Primorc before he became a Cork.
He'll become. I think he's going to become something else.
Yeah.
I think even Gazgul would probably want to be something else. Because I think Gazgul, he sees himself as the prophet of Mork and Gork. He's probably pushing for advancement. He's pushing for progress. I see Gazgul as like, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be something new rather than something old. But that having been said, that's just my theory. Games Workshop could always come around and say, nope, he's a Cork now. I'll be like, all right, fine.
He's actually 3 grots in a trench coat.
Ricardo asks, what is the actual current name of the pirate princess? It is, I'll put up the screen here. It is, in fact, Mora, which translates to Wise Death. And her flagship name used to be the Lilius Revenge. It is now the Unwritten Voyage.
It could have been Moron. That would have been hilarious.
Moron. Oh,
that's a great Eldar name.
Darius Rose says, at least a war boss on par with the Orc warlords of the Horus Heresy, like Urgelhart. I think, do you mean Urlek Urg? Or Garkul Blackfang? Yeah, I mean, he could certainly be he could certainly be on par with them. That is something he could be. Yeah, I agree. All right, so we've got a pretty clear winner, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that poll. Everybody likes the idea that the ship, what makes the flagship unusual for people who are listening, is that it grows Wraithbone chambers without being told. It just sort of does it. Now, why would that happen, Alexis, and what does that mean?
Well, that means that there's a lot of psychic energy on that ship, or that ship is just very fertile.
Or it has a Bone Singer either on board or as part of its dead crew.
Oh, yeah.
That's another explanation that could be part of it. But then again, this could just be a very mysterious ship, and they're just like, hey, it just happens, man. This is just what happens.
Yeah, we were walking down the hallway, I got lost, turns out a whole wall grew.
Kind of gives it almost like a Hogwarts-esque feel, right? Like you could go into a chamber and there'd be a new room where one wasn't before. Kind of dig that. New poll is up, everybody. It's now, what treasure does the fleet protect?
Me.
Could be Kovu.
It's Kovu.
Kovu must be protected at all costs.
We do have a super chat from Super Orlok. Inside the chambers is a strange, elongated clone of the captain that hungers for the flesh of Eldar.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's weird. All right, you know what? It's weird, but all right, I'm going for it. Inside the chambers is a strange elongated clone of the captain that hungers for the flesh of Eldari. Yeah, okay, so homunculi have got to be involved here somewhere, right? Like there's clearly this is a homunculus construction. What do they call those things that they make? The racks?
Yeah, racks.
That's pretty wild.
Racks, grotesques, and
this is closer to grotesque. What for the audience, can you just briefly go over what homunculi are and what their creations are like?
Yo, how the hell do you explain a homunculus? Hey, have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? You know that name, but not that at all. Okay? They're okay. If you're thinking about the homunculus, think of Hellraiser. Okay? Now imagine if they were a surgeon. All right? And you know how they transform people into like hideous monsters and hell angels? Because that's what they are. Yeah, it's that, but they make more things. And sometimes they just take a whole bunch of people, stitch them together, make them horrific, fuse them together like Dr. Frankenstein meets Hellraiser, and that becomes a pain engine.
Or a grotesque. The creation that Super Orlok just put in is definitely more along the lines of a grotesque. But yeah, they're flesh shapers. They're able to use the technology that Eldari have incredibly high technology. And the Drukhari possess quite a bit of that as well. So the homunculi, they are these kind of mad scientists that use flesh shaping to create very strange and unusual beasts, but they also use it to create clones. Many of the Drukhari are in fact clones. They have separated themselves into the trueborn, who are the ones that are born, naturally, and the other type, which are the ones that are made from the homunculi. But on top of that, homunculi can also bring you back from the dead. Fun fact, using their flesh shaping.
It's always weird getting used to a new body.
Right?
You know, it's weird because like the first couple of years you're like trying to move and then your body moves. It's very strange. Anyway, the choices that we have here is a vault of soul stones, of spirit stones. That would be so cool, and that is
space rich.
Yeah, that's crazy amounts of like Eldar currency, which I assume are going to be called like probably crowns. I see Eldar using crowns. We don't know what their currency is. But we know that they use a currency though. In Voidsguard, they at least had a currency that they traded with the Votann with.
Yeah, but that was usually information.
Yeah.
So barter is clearly an option.
Good old space communism. Gay space communism again. Yes, let's go. Anyway, libraries of pre-fall songs and maps. Those maps can be super useful.
Damn
very
useful.
coveted and very sought after. I'm not even going to read the third one because there's nothing there.
It doesn't exist.
A sealed humming Xenos crystal. They use that occasionally for stress.
Okay, so we do have a comment here from Ricardo Andre. Says the unwritten voyage translates to Ulathani. Oh, that's a good. I like that. That sounds cool. It means she who walks many paths. Why this term? Because the voyage is yet unwritten, therefore she will walk many paths. The source for this term is the psychic awakening. Awesome, thank you, Ricardo Andre. I appreciate that. That's some really good deep lore there. Appreciate that.
I want Psychic Awakening to have a
Ulathani.
goddamn novel so badly that has an ending, because all of the stories in the Psychic Awakening are all open ended, and it's really dumb. And then we got one from Ricky Chapman here. For the name of the ghost, Danan
Damashir.
Dandadan.
Wow. You know, on the Lorebeards and Roleplay channel, they have called us the anime beards because we will occasionally break out and talk about anime.
I don't know what it is. Like lately, I haven't watched a lot of anime recently. It's just, I mean, me and Victor are still trying to finish Solo Leveling, but God, that show is just all hype with nothing else.
I love Solo Leveling, not gonna lie. I've watched it 3 times in a row.
Like, I read the manga and the ending sucked. I'm not gonna spoil it. It just sucked.
Ricky Chapman.
Like, oh.
Ricky Chapman, what ghost are we talking about here? Exactly. Just to be clear. Is this the one that's giving her the orders? Orders from the dead? Is that maybe what we're talking about here? I'm writing it down, just to be clear.
And then we got Godzilla Rex saying, I support gay space communism. Hell yeah.
All right, so it's clearly the treasure is a library of pre-fall songs and maps. I'm going to go ahead and shut that one down. Stop that poll. There we go. And new poll. What's the crew like? What is the crew of our ship?
They're okay. Let's see. Ooh, former craft worlders. So they walk the path of the Bushido, but they didn't really like it too much. It didn't vibe with them. Aspect warriors, rangers, and more. I actually love the idea that they're all rangers.
Yeah,
so that way when they go to battle, they could be like, go Power Rangers.
More outcasts is what I meant. You know, like it's all outcasts all the time.
Drukhari mercenaries. Ooh, I like this. A band of mysterious harlequins. I also really like that one. But if somebody wants to be super awesome and add something that'll make me happy,
Chikaro,
they could add a space monkey.
Ricardo Andre, he's talking about Voidsguard. We've been talking about Voidsguard a lot on this show. He says there's a point at which the Corsair princes consider themselves the true Aeldari. How long has the captain sailed under the stars? Does she consider herself one of them now? Yes, I would say if you reach the pinnacle, if you become a prince or princess, which our character has, Mora is a princess, I think you have to assume that you have internalized the path of the Corsair. Now, I should take a moment to let's recap. Let's really go. Let's just do a quick talking about this character. Our princess is named Mora, which translates to wise death. She can only speak in sign language because she's mute. She is pansexual and a bit of a Lothario, or she loves to get involved with other companions. She's often distracted by companionship. According to the first mate, she's silent as the void, but brighter than any star. But also the pay is great. Her rival and former lover was the Starlight Storm, or Riantha Trithjane, and she was an Exodite. Or sorry, Mora was an Exodite. She has 3 Chimera hunting hounds to flesh out the bigger beasties. She was born in the shouted districts of Comora. She left behind a respected family and future. Her first brush with infamy was winning a duel in Cormora against her former lover. The crew describes her as being possessed by a long-dead pirate, which may or may not be Danan Damashir, the Color of Souls.
Such a good name.
Great name. She claimed command. Mora claimed command in a challenge of blades, and in this, she stole a weapon that shoots the plague of glass and keeps the victims as trophies for the ship in a special gallery. Her philosophy is that shared plunder equals loyalty. Her greatest weakness is that she sometimes receives orders from the dead. Her flagship is a ghost crew dragon ship that is named the Unwritten Voyage, or the Ulathani. What makes the flagship unusual is that Wraithbone chambers grow unbidden within it, and inside those chambers is a strange elongated clone of the captain that hungers for Aeldari flesh. The fleet protects a treasure that is a library of pre-fall songs and maps, and we're just figuring out now what the crew is like. So
that creature in the ship is horrifying. Like, could you imagine, like, oh, I gotta go to the what's the 40K version of a bathroom? Oh yeah, the lavatorium. I gotta go to the lavatorium to take a poop, a space poop. And then all of a sudden, a fucking wraithbone wall grows in front of you. You're like, okay, I guess I'm not going that way. You take a turn, you're in the back rooms, and the captain is chasing you, and it's this weird monster creature.
Devin Urbina is asking if someone already paid for a monkey. No, Druzina paid for something else and asked somebody to go for a monkey, but that hasn't happened yet. And this is a very insightful comment from Ricardo Andre. From what I know, the term prince is a generic term and delegates as much from lieutenants to the kings themselves. A simplified term for the humans as the Anhrathe all have custom titles. Anhrathe is the name of the Corsairs. That's what they call themselves, the Anhrathe. And it's something I have neglected to mention until now, so thank you for bringing that up, Ricardo Andre. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah!
You got to read this one.
Alexis, you owe me. Yeah, I do. I'll give you one hug. She has a giant Jacaro and a giant bipedal lizard in stasis that she unfreezes in emergencies. Jocaro Kong, let's go.
Oh my god. Well, if anybody could have megafauna, an Exodite could have megafauna. That's legit, not out of the realm of lore. It's entirely possible.
Like, imagine King Kong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the one from the Monsterverse currently, like Peter Jackson's version. All right. But on each finger, it has a ring, and each one of those rings shoots a different beam or fixes things. And this thing's like fixing giant turrets and everything, but to it, it's small. And then if you give it a dirty look, it fucking shoots laser beams out of its bionic eyes.
So the poll is concluded. The answer is our crew is made up of aspect warriors, rangers, and more outcasts. And now we get to talk about who is our most trusted lieutenants. I love this. I can just do the polls like this. This is great.
Yeah, this is good.
We're trying out new technology here, and it seems to be making our lives richer, which I enjoy, because that doesn't always happen with technology.
Oh, and you get Godzilla as well. Oh my god, she has Godzilla and Kong. Let's go. All right. So, for her trusted lieutenant, a former Altarch or tactician. Ooh, I actually really like that.
Alexis, are you familiar with an anime called Log Horizon?
No.
Okay, the main character in Log Horizon is a tactician, and I was like, ooh, okay, I kind of dug on that a little bit. So even more anime beards this week.
Yep. Which duelist from Kamara? Oh, I like that one too. That could be another one of her former lovers. A quiet but powerful void dreamer. Oh, we get to talk about void dreamers.
And I did this before these were all brought up before. So a quiet but powerful void dreamer, quiet, but also the captain is mute. So I thought that's kind of a weird pairing, but I love it.
Yeah. Wraithbone construct. I hope it's like one of the dark and sinister Wraithbone constructs and not just the normal ones.
Why are we taking space pirates and making it so dark? I don't know, but I love it. It's fine. It's great. 40K is a grim dark future. It's a grim dark future.
You just go the wrong way on the ship, you end up in Wraithbone back rooms.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie, but apparently a lot of people have. I'm really excited to check it out.
Ghost pirates are cool. Yeah, you are correct, Wolf Boy.
Ghost pirates are cool.
I didn't see it, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Odyssey next week, and it's going to suck. And we're so excited to see it because we're finally. This is a contender for the worst movie ever. And so far, our worst movie, keep in mind that we've seen in theaters, that's the criteria, is Monster Hunter, followed very closely by Eternals.
I assume you never saw Megalopolis. Anyway, fun fact, there have been so many movies about getting Matt Damon home, from The Martian to Saving Private Ryan to many, many others. Can someone just please get that poor man home? He's got to get home. All right, but the poll is about who our most trusted lieutenant is, and it looks like we have a tie at the moment. But we're going to let it go a little bit longer.
30 seconds.
Right. Here we go. I got a comment from Devin Orbito. The Wraithbone construct can be used by the ghost stand that talks to her. There you go. That would be interesting. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, that would be a body for the spirit that we've already kind of defined, the color of souls. So if anybody wants that to be a thing, type 4 into the chat.
I like that.
Oh, we're trying to get a tie. I guys, please don't engineer ties. It kind of ruins the fun of ties if you're like, let's make a tie. Let's just make it happen.
When did they get a jar of dirt? You could make that happen.
You can science the shit out of it.
Oh, man. All right. So which one of these ones do you actually want? I like the Void Dreamer.
I like the first one. I like the tactician, but Drazina, the weakness of is being horny. I will make sure and mention that her greatest weakness is also her fascination with companionship, because that is a term I can use and we will get demonetized.
Then that's smart.
Oh, whoa! Look at this. The exiled one coming to the super chat. Felian Weir, the Wraithbone quartermaster, is in charge of the guns and does his best to clear up their spontaneous Wraithbone walls. When you say Wraithbone, I'm assuming like a Wraith Guard, right? Or Wraith Knight. No, not Wraith Knight. What's the close combat version? What's that called?
Wraith Blades.
Wraith Blade, thank you. I'm thinking Wraith Guard or Wraith Blade, probably. But that's very cool. I will add that in for sure, and we will add that to the crew section, I believe, here. So we now have Felianweir, which is a really cool Welsh name. I wish Andy were here to confirm.
Oh, well, we do have a Welsh person in here.
Do we?
And that is Wolf Boy.
Ah, Wolf Boy. Is that? Am I pronouncing that wrong? You let me know.
Yes, it is entirely wrong. How dare you? He stops the spontaneous Wraithbone growths.
Ooh, growths, okay. Yeah. Wraithbone. I got it. It is now in the list. I will show you so you know it's there. There it is. Also, for Drazina, there's the weakness right there. Also, her fascination with companionship. So it is now part of the list.
That is my weakness too.
All right, I'm gonna end the poll because we're in a good place. We've got a clear winner, 50% of y'all. I was born in Arkansas, so I say y'all a lot. It is a weakness. I'm trying to stop that myself.
No, don't. It's gender inclusive.
It is. Actually, do you want to know the most inclusive?
Duelists?
So
Nerds.
Y'all is a contraction of you all, right? And there's also all y'all, which is a contraction of all of you all. But my favorite is the one that says all you all will, which is contracted to all y'all.
Stop it.
No, I'm not. I'm not making this up.
I mean, in all fairness, when I have to address an entire room, I usually say "attention, duelists" or "sup, nerds."
Nice.
Or "what up, party people." I say that one a lot.
Did Wolfboy comment on the Welsh?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's fine. He did ask if we had to choose one path, which one would you walk? I would walk the path of the outcast. I would not be in any of those places.
I'd probably be with the Corsairs, not gonna lie.
Because, well, I mean, I would find some place to hide because it's 40k.
I'd be with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, X-Knights. That's a good place to hide.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see here. Most trusted lieutenant is the sentient Wraithbone construct. Why don't you talk about what, because this is the home of the ghost, right?
Oh, okay. There you are, Kofu. Oh, okay. Just run away, I guess. Anyway, orange cat behavior. I'm sorry, what was that?
I was asking, this is the construct is also the home of the Color of Souls, right?
I'd assume so. Like, that would make the most sense.
For like the ghost. Okay, the answer. So Wolfboy's asking. Sorry, Wolfboy's asking the name. Yeah, Felianweir. I that's how I pronounce it. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, it's a ghost in the shell.
It is literally that. Yes.
God, that anime is so good.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. We're working our way through Vox Machina season 4, but
that was also really good.
Fun fact: the animation studio for Vox Machina is the same one for Invincible.
Yeah, and you can see where their budget went.
Hey, listen, I like both shows. So next poll question is about what outsider do we tolerate aboard our ship? Because Corsair vessels are eclectic, and Aeldari typically keep to themselves. They even only rarely mix between different origins like Cormora or Craft Worlds or Exodites or Harlequins, but it can happen. It definitely does happen with the Yanari. But the Corsairs are the ones most likely to have some kind of outsider aboard their ship because they travel beyond a lot of the societies and the restrictions that are in the other Aeldari societies. They don't really, they consider themselves free, and part of freedom is to sort of flaunt the fact that they're allowed to do things that other people aren't, right? And so one of the things that you will find, I wouldn't say commonly, but it's more common than anywhere else in Aeldari society, is outsiders.
All right, so for the choice, we have an Imperial Navy, an Imperial Navigator or an Inquisitor. I assume Rogue Trader is also in that list.
Sure, why not? Why not?
A higher up Imperial officer of some description, or a Navigator, which would be sick to have a Navigator speaking at a Aeldari.
And there would be very good reasons for a Navigator to want to travel on an Aeldari ship because, hey, you'll never go into the warp.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, Navigators are not exactly excited about going into the warp.
Also, having a Navigator on your ship in case demons getting onto the boat, that's one hell of a way to beat those demons. Oh, hey, Aeldari, turn around. Okay, boom. The other one is a Tau Defector. Weirdly enough, my first thought for this was a Gavesa, which kind of just defeats the purpose, but it would be cool to see like a Kroot Shaper or like
a Vespid Stingwing.
A Vespid that has removed the helmet and gotten rid of the brainwashing could be really cool. Or just a Fire Warrior that is fed up and wants to just be around people taller than him.
My video game sucked.
It did. I could not get that game working. I had somebody who ran like he has every emulator imaginable, and he has so much trouble with Fire Warrior because the game sucks. A Votan Thunderkin. Ooh, a Thunderkin engineer. That could be really cool. So you get a dwarf that's angry at all times trying to repair an Aeldari vessel. probably screaming, cursing, carrying on about how their vessel sucks.
My favorite is the Thunderkin engineer. Honestly, you can
And
have
then a
your
Necron.
Gimli to the Legolas, if you will.
Yeah. And then a Necron noble. We all know who that is. They could pretend to be somebody else, but we know who that is. We
They
know
often
exactly who
do.
that is.
They often do pretend to be someone else.
We know exactly who that is.
It's Trazine the Infinite. But yeah, my favorite is the Thunderkin. They're super cool. I'm starting to get more and more in love with the Votan over time. Like the more I read about them, the more I learn about them, the more I'm really starting to vibe with it.
Yeah. I really like the idea of a Tau defector because we have so little lore between the Tau and the Eldar. Like they've canonically only had one battle.
And I was told at one point by one of the designers at the studio that an old piece of lore was that they were considering having the Tau be a uplifted species that the Eldari had basically engineered as a buffer between them and the Tyranids. Although I will point also that a Votan Thunderkin engineer would be the perfect short king for our lusty princess. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
Just saying.
Although, what still bugs me, and I need somebody's help with this, has Celestine in any novel had a conversation with Gilliman? Not an implied conversation, because they've had implied conversations, but as far as I can find, Celestine has never talked to Gilliman with actual dialogue between them, aside from the time, like, because there is a novel where Celestine is present and Greyfax is talking to Gilliman, and Gilliman addresses both of them. But I mean, Gilliman addressing Celestine. They've spent so much time together, and they've never talked.
So they're in the same force for a very long time, right? They were alongside each other for quite a while. I mean, from McCrag to Terra, they were together. So I assume they had to have spoken. It's
Also,
just
there's no iron halo that he has.
There's no scene of them actually speaking. Oh wow, Druzina. Don't worry, Ross. I'll make sure the next character is Ace. Listen, I don't need more representation. It's fine. But I appreciate you thinking about me. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you thinking about me. Celestine is really shy. Just cut her some slack. All right,
it's kind of like
30 seconds for the poll, and then I'll close it.
Not Gimli. Oh my God, the elf from Lord of the Rings.
Legolas.
Legolas only has one line of dialogue with any of the hobbits, and it's "and my bow." In the entire trilogy.
They've taken the hobbits to Isengard.
Yeah, everything else is talking around them.
Well, he doesn't talk to short people except for Gimli.
Yeah.
He's,
that was such a good bromance.
So the answer is, what outsider do we tolerate on our ship? The answer is a Necron noble. Fascinating. Fascinating, I say. Fascinating.
It's definitely, not not Trazine. His name is just not a Trazine, and it's just Trazine with a fake mustache on.
like a walrus mustache.
No. You're thinking of my cousin, Trazine. I am Trazin. Yeah. The finite. Yeah.
All right, let's do a quick recap. So starting at the beginning, this is a princess. She is mute. She can only speak in sign language. She is pansexual, has left a trail of broken hearts and lovers behind her. Her name is Mor-Ra, which translates to the wise death. She is often distracted by seeking companionship. The crew tries to keep her in line because she tends to prioritize companionship over loot. Her rival and former lover, the Starlight Storm, has her own ship, had the ship before her, which was called Lilia's Revenge, and is now the Unwritten Voyage, or Uluthani. Mor-Ra was born on Cormorag, but is actually an Exodite. She has 3 Chimera hunting hounds. She left behind a respected family and future. She won a duel in Cormorag, a challenge of blades, which allowed her to claim the ship from her former lover. She has a weapon that shoots the plague of glass and turns the victims into black crystal statues that she keeps in a special gallery. The crew describes her as being possessed by a long-dead pirate because I'm trying to link all these things together. Because her most trusted lieutenant is a sentient wraithbone construct, which is home to a spirit called the Color of Souls. Let me just make sure I got this straight. Named Danan Damashir, who gives her orders from time to time, and that is part of her greatest weakness, or other part of the greatest weakness is that she is fascinated by and seeks companionship very often. Her philosophy is that shared plunder equals loyalty. Her ship, the Unwritten Voyage, is a ghost crewed dragon ship, which has strange wraithbone chambers that grow unbidden, and inside those chambers is a very strange clone of the captain that eats the flesh of Drukhari. But there is a wraithbone quartermaster named Felianweir who's in charge of the guns and does his best to clear up these wraithbone growths. The crew is mostly made up of aspect warriors, rangers, and others outcasts, but there is an outsider amongst them, a Necron noble who's totally not Trazine the Infinite. She has a giant Jacaro and a giant bipedal lizard in stasis. She unfreezes them in emergencies, and she protects a library of pre-fall songs and maps. And I think that pretty much sums it up.
So far.
But now, what does the crew fear?
A battle they can't win. That's all battles for the Eldar, because every loss is, well, forever for them, for the most part.
They are a slowly dwindling species.
The secret Slanesh traitor. Oh, it's the Jacaro. The ship choosing its own path. So the ship betraying them is kind of a really cool concept that I really like. What is the last one? A laughing figure in reflections. Ooh, Kegaroth getting involved. Or perhaps Tzeentch.
Drazina, I see you. I see that you named the totally not Trazine Sute or Sote. I just want to make sure it is in there. I did add it.
Mm-hmm.
The ship is in the machine. The ship, yes.
Oh, and we just got a super chat from Elemental Exposure. Well, we did.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll click it. Boop.
My hand's off the trigger.
Our favorite trophy is a glass space marine called Monkey D. Wolfie. That's really good.
What's that from? I don't get that one.
It's Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece.
Oh my god!
Monkey D. Luffy.
Now I get it. Holy shit! The One Piece reference. Anime Beards is in full effect today.
Can we say that it's a red Corsair?
Oh, that'd be even better. That would be even better.
All right, we got to add that. We have to add that.
It's going in. It's going in. Her favorite trophy is a glassed red Corsair Space Marine named let's say called Monkai D. Woofy. There you go.
So good.
It is now in there. It's in there. You can see it. I've added it. The reason
that we wanted it to be a red Corsair, that way it's a pirate.
It's a pirate. Yep.
Yeah. Instead of, I saw that you wanted it to be a space wolf. But yeah. It worked really good.
Fun fact, red Corsairs can be space wolves.
That is true. That is very true. All right. Yeah, I like that. Also, for anyone that is listening right now, that's just joined the stream, if there is something to the background of this character that you do want to add, like the ones that we just saw, you could just do a simple $5 super chat. It helps us out. It helps the channel grow and everything. And just add something really fun. Like her being mute is something that the lore seekers decided. Her having a red Corsair captive is something that the lore seekers decided.
He's dead. He's not a captive. When they're turned to glass, they are dead.
Well, he is definitely dead then.
That's her favorite trophy, but he is absolutely dead.
Yep.
All right. Ricardo Andrews says the option 4 is their captains falling to the madness of Segorok's schemes. Actually, I can kind of see that. Like, there is something trickster-esque about this character, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
A little
But
bit.
is it Kekaroth or is it Zeech? That's
Well,
always the kicker.
I'm so tired of it's always Zinch.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest with you. It makes sense, but at the same time, I instinctually want to steer away from saying it's always Zinch, and I will probably always lean towards the option that isn't Zinch because Zinch is so used so often, so too often.
I do like that newer 40k lore is straying away from the Chaos Gods being. Uh, the easiest way of saying this is a character to being a force.
Mm.
Like it's no longer like, oh, Slanesh tricked us. It's now a keeper of secrets in service of Slanesh tricked us, or something of that nature. You know.
So the choice is the crew fears the ship choosing its own path. Why is this a fear, Alexis?
Well, the ship could betray you. The ship is living. That's one of the biggest things about the Eldari ships is that they are alive. Oh, alive is in quotes.
They're not biochips. They're made of psychoplastic that can heal, but it's not technically organic. It's not technically
It,
alive.
it's not organic. It just has a soul, regrows, and it's not alive.
It has a lot of characteristics of being alive, but is not in fact alive. To be clear.
We can plug a soul into it, and it regrows itself, and it heals its wounds, and it can make up its own mind.
All right. So our next question is: what targets does our princess prefer to prey upon?
Oh my god, I know exactly what she would go after.
Me too. I
Yeah.
now that we've defined quite a bit about this character, I know exactly which option is the white one.
Oh, it's none of these, unfortunately.
Oh no,
It's
it is. It
hearts.
absolutely is. Well, booty can be
Yep.
found in many places. Just to be clear.
Imperial merchant convoys, really easy targets. You hit and run, you grab what you need, especially DVD players. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was DVD players in the first Fast and the Furious. That's how
It
old that
was.
movie
It
is.
was.
They were
Yes.
stealing DVD players.
Yes.
Or rival Corsair bands, obviously, that's the good one.
Oh,
Necron Tomb Worlds is really funny with a certain dude on board. Oh yes, go ahead and destroy this one. I need you to do it.
that's the one I think
Isol-
is the obvious choice.
Isolated Tau Seps is also really funny, especially after the Fourth Sphere expansion catastrophe, where there's now like Tau Seps that are actually super separated from the Tau themselves. This was definitely GW's way of making the Tau appear in more places because technically they couldn't. But having Tau Seps that just appear all over the place is a really cool way of introducing the Tau into the greater lore of Warhammer 40k, and them being a thing that they hunt because there are greater Narlocs in Tau controlled worlds. So our lovely little princess might be hunting a new dinosaur.
So, for people who don't know, a Tau Sept is a major settled territory in the Tau Empire. It is basically a fully developed star system. There's usually a principal Sept world within that system, and the colonies and space stations and satellites and mining sites and other holdings. They all are part of what's called a Sept. It's both a place and a regional cultural identity. It's kind of like a province in Canada or a state in the United States or things like that. Um, Usually the septs are named after the central world. So the Viorla sept is a sept centered on the world of Viorla, for example.
Mhm.
No, they're not a sector, Ricardo Andre. Sectors are way bigger than a star system. Um, sectors are several dozens of star systems comprise at minimums dozens of star systems comprise a sector of space.
Yeah.
All right, so that's I was just make sure that was clear for everybody as out there, and I'm going to give this poll about 30 more seconds to make sure you get your votes in. Oh, Devin Urbino, what's the sept of the white and red box cover Tau?
Oh, I forget.
That's a fun question.
Can you do me a favor and cover me for like 30
Yeah,
seconds? I gotta run
absolutely.
to the
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I forgot. Unfortunately, Tau have been out of my mind for a while. Unfortunately, Viorla is the red and white. Okay, so is the one I said. There you go. So yeah, A sept is like I said, it's a star system. And wow, you guys are definitely going for the Necron Tomb Worlds. I love how we're building this up to definitely not be Trazine the Infinites. So, Ethereals, what do you mean all the water castes in the sector for a traitor for a pirate? So the water castes in the Tau, they are the diplomats. They are the ones that are sent out to engage with other species. And with our pirate princess, with our Corsair princess Mora, that diplomacy may involve a little more physical activity than usual. There are some really great memes about Tau being quite horny. I think are hilarious. It's not necessarily in the lore, but it is very funny to think about. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the poll now. I think we have a clear winner, and we're going to add that in that Necron Tomb Worlds are the preferred targets. Now, obviously, there's a lot of reasons why. Number one being the fact that we have a Necron Noble on board the ship, but oh, hey, you're back.
Oh, hello.
What are some other reasons, aside from the outsider aboard the ship, what are the other reasons a Tomb World would be a really good target for Corsairs?
Well, it's an ancient rivalry.
Going back to what?
Oh, you know, that very important thing called the War in Heaven. Which at this point, I assume the U.S. is going to get involved in.
Oh, my God. No, what are some other, I mean, there's obviously high tech you can get there. That there's actually quite a bit of good minerals and materials. There's things you can trade. Right?
There's actual tech that they might want to grab before the Necron Tomb awakens. Like destroying the command thrones and things like that so that the Necrons don't listen to the commanders. Or maybe going after their Blackstones or their Wraith constructs. Maybe even going after the sleeping Necrons themselves and stealing like Lich Guard that are non-active. Selling them off.
So I think there's no better way to talk about buried treasure in space than a Necron Tomb World.
I mean, yeah, it is literally buried treasure.
That is why I added it, because it's basically buried treasure. All right, our next question is going to be, what's our greatest enemy?
Me.
Who is chasing or who is coming after Mora, the princess?
It's me. I'm joking. An Imperial Navy Commodore. I assume this is General Vibes coming after them. By the way, the lore that I'm writing for Paradox Wars, to really set the fact that it is a satire, one of the main generals is Vibes.
You're going to have to say what Paradox Wars is, because...
Paradox Wars is a game that I am designing myself, and I'm writing the lore for. It's a tabletop war game set. It's basically cyberpunk in space. Sci fantasy.
Sci fantasy cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Steampunk.
No, not steampunk.
Or
well, actually, one of the factions is steampunk. Anyway,
historical drama.
There's a lot of drama in it. I'm writing a lot of drama.
If it's a game made by you, I would be shocked if there wasn't, to be clear.
Yes. A former lover and fellow Corsair. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much the one.
I mean, I think Drazine was pointing out she probably has like hundreds of ex-lovers at this point.
Well, yeah, if you live for a couple hundred years, that tends to happen. A vengeful Drukhari Archon. You stole my ship, you jerk!
Or you stole my giant lizard and my Drukhara.
You stole my wife. Give her back.
Oh! Now that's even better. Vengeful because Mora stole his wife. That would be that's tasty. I like that one.
A concerned farseer, a parent.
You're far too reckless. You're far too reckless, Mora. Come back.
I am not letting you go out of this ship dressed like that, young lady. When are you going to be done with this and go back to Howling Banshee School? Mom, it's not a phase.
You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but I'm curious, has that ever happened to you where somebody said you're not leaving the house dressed like this?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I tend to dress in like very, very torn up like shirts and clothing, and all my clothes are modified. So I have like a punk meets goth aesthetic, but I'm lazy. So it's like comfort goth punk.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. Uh, some the only thing I can think of is I'm imagining like you have like a closet full of like big boots and stuff like that. But
I only managed to get one set of my steel-toed goth boots here.
ah, so you do have some. I knew
Yes, of
it.
course
I
I do.
knew it.
Of
I
course I
knew
do.
it. I knew it. Me myself, I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, but I do love cloaks. I happen to
Oh, I
have
have a cloak in my closet.
I have multiple cloaks in my closet as well. I wish they would come back in style so bad. Hooded
You
cloaks are
just
my
have to
favorite.
do it. You just have to do it. You have to be the one to commit.
Ah, so difficult though.
They're actually quite common here in Iceland.
I bet that's true. I'm willing to
Yeah.
bet that's probably far more true there than in Colorado.
Like,
Uh,
Victor's mom wears a cloak when it's cold.
all right, so we have a clear winner. I'm going to end the poll here in just about 10 seconds. So, final chance to vote on the greatest enemy. But it looks like it's going to be a concerned parent. Now, why would this be an issue, Alexis?
Very clearly, you're very, very dangerous right now, and you're running the risk of your soul and the soul of all of those that are following you.
Well, I would say it's probably a big deal because farseers can predict the future. They are not only incredibly powerful psychers, they can see the skeins of fate. And that means there's really not a way to fully escape from them. And I can imagine that if you are a Corsair like Mora, who has embraced the nature of freedom and being able to do as she pleases, that the specter of a strict parent chasing you down across the galaxy, a parent you cannot fully ever get away from, would be pretty nasty, actually. All
Hmm.
right. Stopping the poll, I see people that voted for the former lover, which would be very much a character, but the winner by 63% is the concerned parent. Love it. It's not a phase, mom.
For me, it really wasn't. Like, I recently went through all of my clothing. I have one green shirt and one peach shirt, and that's it. All my other shirts are black.
Devin Urbina asks, didn't she give up her family? She left them behind, is what we said. She left them
Yeah,
behind.
they didn't give up on her.
They did not give up on her. So, what's the next question? Oh, well, we're getting down to some pretty good stuff here. What legend follows her name? Dun, dun, dun. The legend of Mora begins to grow. Now, I'm going to take a brief break and I'm going to count on you to pick up the slack for a little bit.
Alrighty. He's gonna go poop. All right, so let me try to figure out where the heck we are. Um, okay, we are not where I thought we would be. I already lost where we were. Okay, hang on. What do you prefer? Which was the time? Which is your greatest enemy? What legend follows you? Okay, I found it. I found it on our sheet. Our sheet is over here, and that's where I'm reading from. Okay, so it's that you have never lost a ship in open battle. That would be fucking wild. I destroy Aeldari ships all the time in Battlefield Gothic. They are one of the easiest enemies to fight, in my opinion, because I know how to fight them. I know how to plan for their attacks and everything and where they're going to go. But in terms of like actual lore, the Imperium has no idea how to fight Eldar. They're extremely hard to fight. You once robbed an Inquisitor. I love the idea that along with Trazine, they broke into an Inquisitor's ship to steal a bunch of shit. And the best part is that could be Inquisitor Greyfax. They broke into her ship, stole a bunch of Trazine's stuff back, and was like, yeah, this is totally fine. This is great. In fact, I'm gonna steal all of my stuff that she took and just teleport away." And Trazine is just standing there like, "Hey, Greyfax, how are you doing? Okay, bye." Just leaves, which would give Greyfax so much paranoia because, like, Greyfax is still worried that she has Mind Shackle Scarab. So to see Trazine again, for those of you that don't know, Trazine, Mind Shackle Scarab, Greyfax almost 6,000 years ago. She is the oldest human in 40k that is currently alive. Though she was controlled by a Necron and not in stasis, but maybe in some type of limbo form. But she is a 6,000-year-old human, which I think is pretty cool. But she is terrified of Trazine. And Trazine just coming back and just being like, oh, yeah, this right here, this is mine. Okay, bye. And just leaving after raiding their vessel. And then that's what Trazine was doing with the Aeldari. And then they get chased down and everything. That would be a legendary robbery. Your legacy is undying. It's lame. Eldar are always known for their dying. That's what makes them Eldar. They're really good at that part too. You leave foes dying in the void. I mean, don't we all when we engage in combat? That seems pretty easy. Like, you just shoot out a couple of engines and just let them suffer to death in the void. Then eventually come back and steal their ship.
I have returned.
That was a quick poop.
It was not a poop. All right. So we are talking about the legend that follows the name of Morah, the Wise Death. Number 4 I like because it's terrifying to think that you could just be cast out to float in space forever. I mean, even if you could survive in space like a space marine, that would be a horrifying fate. You'd just be like, oh shit, I guess I'm here for forever. You know.
I like the Trazine robbery of Greyfax, number 2.
That's a good one. An undying legacy is actually also frightening because, on this ship, especially with all the dead souls and whispers from the grave. I mean,
and the back rooms.
Well, if you have a bad leader, if you have someone who is becoming more and more obsessed with certain aspects of her life, shall we say, and she will never ever stop being the captain, that could be pretty terrifying. But it could also be a legend. It could be a legendary thing because this is also the case with something like Dread Pirate Roberts. There's never not going to be a Dread Pirate Roberts, right? Because the title will be passed down from one to the other. So there's a lot of different ways why this could be a legacy, a legendary legacy, shall we say?
Oh my God, who's the legendary Viking? Oh my God, I forgot his name. Where everyone says they're related to him. The name just completely popped out of my mind. And then there's debates now on whether or not he existed, and it's pointing more and more in favor of he actually never existed.
We're not talking about Einar Lothbrok, are we?
No.
Okay. John Viking.
You know what's funny? That's not an unheard of name. Like Jon Vikingar is actually a name. So you're actually right.
John Viking is an actual name. Leif Erikson, Rollo Bluetooth.
God, I can't remember. But,
Ragnar Lothbrok. Sorry, not Einar. Ragnar.
I think it was Ragnar, where everyone claims to be related to him, and then no one actually is. It's kind of like how the Spartans claim to be related to like Hercules or whatever, and it's like that's a fictional character. No, you're not.
Ragnar Blackmane, of course, is a 40k version of that character. Is a space wolf, an actual space wolf.
Yep.
There are no wolves on Fenris. All right, guys, you got about 30 more seconds. We currently have a tie. This could be a lot of fun. This could be. I actually see this as a fun one, but
yeah, I think the no wolves on Fenris lore is the dumbest garbage in the history of dumb garbage.
Really,
where it's like it's like oh, our Space Marine scouts turn into the Fenrisian wolves, which then turn into the Thunder Wolves. It's like no. That's stupid.
That's where you draw the line, right there.
That is stupid.
Okay. All right. You know what? You're entitled to that opinion. I'm not gonna judge you for it.
Because Lehman Russ having wolf parents disproves that.
Well, Lehman Russ is a Primarch's a special case. Anyway, the legend is now a tie. It's a legend that she once robbed an Inquisitor and she leaves her foes dying in the void. So connect the dots for me, Alexis. How do we combine these two things together?
Okay. So, Inquisitors hunt her because they have now a trail to hunt her via ships being dead in the void, with all of their crew having starved to death aboard them because their engines were destroyed, their loot was taken, and then they were left aboard with nothing. So the Inquisition followed these ships in a essentially a path all the way back to her. And then this was all a ploy by her to actually get that Inquisitor into a area where she can then ambush the Inquisitor. So the Imperium knows about all these ships dying in the void and just being left there and whatever. But the Aeldari know her from tricking an Inquisitor and stealing all of their loot from them and then leaving them to die in the void.
I'm going to propose something slightly different.
Okay.
That's not bad. I want to be clear. It's not bad. I'm going to propose that robbing the Inquisitor is both true and not true at the same time, in that the Inquisitor was aboard the ship willingly. The Inquisitor and Mora were companions, shall we say. They had a falling out, and Mora kept something of the Inquisitors as a memento or trophy. But during this falling out,
her hat,
the Inquisitor was launched out of the airlock. But being an Inquisitor, he has access to a lot of unusual technology, unusual bionics, things of that nature, and possibly just being too stubborn to die. The Inquisitor managed to get rescued from this. And that is where the legend comes from, is the Inquisitor telling everyone, okay, listen, we had a spat and she threw me out the goddamn airlock. do not under any circumstances mess around with Mora. No, I mean, there's probably someone you could do better than that. But
chat, who do you go with? Me or Ross?
It's not personal. I don't care who you pick.
I totally wasn't dumped.
Right.
That's pretty funny.
I like that one a lot. Yeah, we do have time. So what do you guys think? Is Alexis's interpretation the best, or is mine? Because it's not personal. I don't care which one you choose, but we do need to choose one. I can make a custom poll for that. That's kind of cool.
The dumping. God damn it, Godzilla Rex.
The dumping, is that what they're calling it? So
I didn't have a relation with that Eldar, and I broke up with her.
There we go. Now we have, see, that's easy. This StreamYard makes it easy. Boom.
Yeah,
hey, Sotek's leading the raid in. Thank you so much, Sotek. We are almost done creating our Pirate Princess Corsair. We actually discovered quite a bit about her. She's a very interesting character. Welcome all of the Twitch fans from Sotek's stream. Appreciate you.
I pick Ross because of the dumping. You know what? That's fair.
So just to catch everybody up who's coming in from Twitch, let's do a recap of where we are. Chad has been helping us build a Corsair Pirate Princess, a space pirate of the Aeldari in Warhammer 40k. So far, we've decided that this pirate princess is named Mora. She is pansexual and has left a trail of broken hearts and broken beds behind her. She is mute and can only speak in sign language. And her former lover, she bested her in a duel of blades on Cormora and took her ship. And that's how she started her fame as a pirate, as a Corsair amongst the stars. She's originally Exodite, but was also born on the Shadow Districts of Cormora. So she's got a kind of a mix of the Drukhari and the Exodite background.
She's a dinosaur that likes to cut people.
She left behind her respected family and future, but she has brought with her a lot of strange creatures, including 3 Chimera hunting hounds, a giant Jacaro and a giant lizard, both stuck in stasis that she unfreezes for special occasions. And aboard her ship, in strange wraithbone chambers that seem to grow themselves, there is a disturbing clone of the captain that feasts upon Aeldari flesh.
Mornington Cranston. That's a good one.
She's Kane's favorite princess and the most interesting girl in the world. Yes, thank you, Mornington Cranston. I love it. Love it. Ricardo says the Inquisitor would never acknowledge the humiliating situation. He would say that his crucial investigation led him to that, and now no one is to touch her because she is such a. That does track. some Inquisitors would be willing to, I think, but that's a very reasonable response there. And let's see here. Her philosophy is that shared plunder equals loyalty. Her greatest weakness is that she has her most trusted lieutenant is actually a wraithbone construct powered by the soul of a dead Aeldari named Danan Damashir, or the Color of Souls. And this lieutenant often whispers into the ear of Mora and tells her where to go. Her ship is a ghost-crewed dragon ship. So there's a lot of ghosts and spirits and things going on. It is called the Unwritten Voyage. And she protects a library of pre-fall songs and maps. She does have a favorite trophy. It is a red Corsair space marine called Mon Kai D. Woofy, a former space wolf, glassed by her special weapon that uses the glass plague to transform flesh into black crystal. Her crew is made up of aspect warriors, rangers, and other outcasts. One of her special crew is a quartermaster, a wraith guard named Felianweir, who's in charge of the guns and does his best to clear up the spontaneous wraithbone growths within it. There is an outsider aboard her ship, a Necron noble named Sote, who is totally not Trays in the Infinite. Absolutely not. The crew fears that the ship may be choosing its own path because of all the dead souls aboard it. But their targets seem to be aimed largely at Necron's homeworlds to raid for the ultimate buried treasure in space. Her greatest enemy is a concerned farseer parent who thinks she is far too reckless. And we just figured out that her greatest legend, the legend of Mora, is because she robbed an Inquisitor and left him dying in the void, kicked him out the airlock after she was done with him.
Yep.
And it looks like the poll is over. That is, in fact, how it worked out. Because we were split on this, and I got the win on that. I am grateful to everybody who voted in that. Thank you very much. I will go ahead and stop that poll.
We do have a super chat here.
That should catch everybody up. The Exiled one, $5. The clone is the one who has her voice and uses it to lure in crewmates and guests to the hunting ground. Ooh, that's good.
Wow,
that's good.
This thing talks people into the back rooms.
Oh my god!
Hell yeah,
that's amazing. Why does the clone have her voice? What is the clone want? This is the fascinating mystery to me. I like this. Alexis, you are really good at taking like some sort of mystery and cooking up some kind of amazing story, like we did in What If Fulgrim Escaped Trajan's Gallery, right? That was a great one. Can you do something like this with this particular mystery?
Okay. All right. Well, hang on a second. I gotta close the door really quickly. So give me 2 seconds.
She's gonna use the time to think. She's gonna think about what her options are. But when she comes back, I suspect she's gonna have some kind of cool idea to discuss with us. Go ahead, Alexis. It's all you.
Sorry about that. Victor is taking a nap after work, and well, actually, he's probably just gone to sleep for the night, and he is snoring very loudly.
Oh.
All right. So why does this creature, well, for one, exist, 2, have her voice, and 3, why do people think she's possessed by a ghost? Well, maybe all have to do with a deal gone wrong with a homunculus. Maybe only half of her was reconstructed and the other half is what that creature is. Perhaps part of her soul is still lost within that creature, but most of her soul is within the body itself. The voice lost so that she can never tell people what is truly happening with her. Perhaps that creature also has what's left of her psychic essence. And that's how it lures people into their demise and grows all of this wraithbone around it so that you get trapped in an endless maze with only it with you. That's why she needs her first mate to actually go and destroy this thing, but it can never kill it because killing it kills her. Thus, they are tied together.
That's fascinating. It reminds me of that movie Barbarian. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. That's actually really good. I dig it.
Don't ask me to repeat that because I immediately forgot everything I said.
And we got a super chat from Super Orlock. It's a good thing we can tell which one is the clone. I agree. I absolutely agree.
One is elongated and looks like Slender Man meets an Eldar, which is quite horrifying, actually.
Who's to say that the clone is not walking amongst them and the real one is the one that's trapped? I mean, when you're dealing with homunculi, when you're dealing with the Drakari, it's very much like dealing with the Unseelie Fae. Any bargain you make, you should be very, very wary of. So it's possible. There's a lot of mystery surrounding Mor-Ra, the wise death. How wise is she? Was she wise enough to wriggle free of a contract with the homunculi, or was she, or was the homunculi someone who put the wise death into her? It's
Is the
fascinating.
wise death just an ironic nickname?
It could be. Could be.
Make sure you write that down, because otherwise we're going to forget that, and it's not going to be a part of this.
All right, repeat it again, please.
Nope.
Then I don't know. I'm doing my best here. But the good news is this whole episode is recorded. So
Yes.
if we ever want to come back to it and figure out what the hell we forgot, it's in this episode. So there's that. The homunculi is an X. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Because Mor-Ra, the pirate princess, is very, she likes companionship. She seeks it out. Only in death is wisdom found. I mean, that's also something you would probably hear a homunculi say. That's exactly what a homunculi would tell you if he was trying to put a different soul into your body. So there you go. And let's see. We've got a couple more questions to ask. Let's go with, what is the pirate prince's pet or mascot?
Well, we actually do know three of her pets so far.
No, but this is for reference, this is the pet she keeps on her, like around her. It's the parrot, if you will, of the pirates.
Okay.
The mascot of the ship. The other pets are things that are elsewhere. She doesn't keep them around her all the time, but
there's one in here that I have some lore for that you'll like.
Okay.
So the first one is a razorwing familiar. This is basically a crow with razor sharp wings and talons that rips people apart.
Came from
Rogue Trader, extremely intelligent and very loyal, but they are basically a crow or a raven. A tiny spiteful demon shard. Whoa, I like that. Possibly bound to a tarot card, maybe from a very particular Thousand Sun sorcerer that she tested. You like that one. I knew you would. This is the one I really like. The psychic Gyrinx or Grinx, or however you want to pronounce it. I like this one because she keeps around to keep track of where the clone is.
Oh shit, that's good.
Yeah, so the thing is actually what keeps the clone away. Okay? And because it's like a cat, and it has it's very good at detecting the dead, the dying. Get some Egyptian mythology in there.
Yeah.
And then a jeweled scaled serpent could also be really cool because it goes along with the black glass. It could be a black mamba that she keeps with her at all times. If you guys don't know, black mambas are one of the most poisonous snake in the world. But this one is in the coloration of the black shard, like
the
glass.
crystal. Yeah, the crystal, because she also wears that on her clothing, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this thing could hide amongst her clothing.
Oh, damn, that's good. Yeah. That's like a secret weapon even that she may keep, little bit like Voldemort's snake.
Like it just she has it around her like a scarf, and it just looks like it's part of the dress itself, and then all of a sudden pocket snake.
That's interesting. Cat or snake? Sneaky snake.
The snake's nickname is Danger Noodle.
Danger. I love it.
Or no probe.
No probe. That's also a really good one. Yeah, so I think pets have been a part of Aeldari society for a long time. Actually, in I think 5th edition, the 40k core rulebook had a picture of an Aeldari warlock with a Gyrinx next to him. And I remember that. I remember that very, very vividly. And I was thinking, like, okay, so piracy, like if you're a pirate, space pirate, you probably have some sort of totemic animal that you carry with you. That's important for various reasons. And that's the reason I brought this up into the list. Is I felt it was important to have a pirate with some sort of parrot or bird or whatever, right?
Tiny monkey.
Tiny spiteful demon shard. I thought was
the tiny monkey.
I mean, it could be. It could be a lot of different things. The razorwing, of course, it's a 40k bird that it fits perfectly into this. It has nothing to do with the fact that it was created for Rogue Trader, the book that I worked on. But I absolutely put it in there because I made it. I'm joking. You all know that. Anyway, let's see. I think give you guys another 10 seconds, so get your last votes in here, and then we will close this one out. We're getting close to the end here. We're getting close to the. We will come to the big recap, and I'm really excited to see what Alexis does with the big recap.
All right.
Because this is going to be a lot of fun.
I do want to remind all the new people that just joined us and everything, if you want to add something to her backstory that is not being asked here or something very specific, you can just throw a $5 donation. It goes a long way to helping us out, obviously. I'm just doing a reminder for those of you that just joined. So that's why our character is mute. That's why she's, pansexual. That's why she has a lot of former lovers. Is actually because the lore seekers decided it.
Yes, we have had not a lot of input on this so far. I mean, we've had some. We've managed to shape some of the paths of the narrative, if you will. But yeah, the lore seekers and their contributions to the Let's Builds are one of the best things about the Let's Build. It's not just you and me sitting down and saying, "Hey, let's tell a weird story about Corsair Pirate Prince." The lore seeker community gets to come in and add a lot to it. So if you've enjoyed this Let's Build, this is the part of the episode where I talk about doing us a favor and hitting that like and subscribe buttons so you can help us spread our heresy to more unsuspecting minds through the algorithm. We really appreciate it. All right, there goes the poll, and the answer is a jewel-sailed scaled serpent, which I really like as the secret danger noodle, the extra weapon. We're going to need a name for this thing, aren't we?
Danger noodle.
No, like an actual name. Its
Chat,
scales,
you know what to do.
Its scales are the same color as the black crystal, the black glass crystal, and it hides in her clothing. That's a secret weapon.
I gotta see if I can find this thing. Yeah, here we go. Well, I gotta find a picture that's not AI. Goddamn Google, you're terrible when it comes to this now. Oh, there we go. A wildlife photography. There we go. So this is the creature that she has with her. That is a black mamba. They are really cool, and they are very, very shy snakes.
Well, I'm imagining she picked this up from like a maiden world, possibly from her Exodite home.
Mm-hmm.
So it has probably, more 40K isms, like, maybe the skulls are the pattern of the scales form a skull, or there's little ridges and barbs on its back or something like that. That would be kind of neat. Serpentor. That's the name. No. Hasbro will send the Pinkertons after us. Let's not do that.
Oh God.
Just like we opened up some magic cards a little too early. Wolfboy's talking about so it's like that one story about the guy with the painting that if he looks at it, all the scars that have accumulated in his age hit him all at once. You're thinking of Dorian Gray from the story, the Portrait of Dorian Gray. He was also part of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen film. Pliskin. Pliskin's a good name. Love it. Deep cut. I appreciate that one. I appreciate that. Pliskin, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, we're on to our last question, Alexis, and then we will do our connection. We will wrap everything up and we will bind it all together. All these choices and decisions that have come to this. So here's the final question. Dun, dun, dun. So pirate princes and corsairs, they like to adorn themselves with titles. They don't want to just show up and be like, "Hi, I'm Bob." You want to show up and be like, "I am the pirate princess Mora. I am the bringer of woe. I am the whatever her epithet is," right? There's some kind of additional aspect to her name, because the Corsairs not only have style, they have a lot of confidence and they have a lot of pride, and they want to show that off because the path of the outcast, the path of the Corsair, does involve an awful lot of drip, and that includes the name. So, what is Mora's epithet?
Well, before that, we have a super chat.
Oh, we do. Okay.
You click it. Okay.
Ricardo Andre also has 10 psychic crows, like Gyrinx, but birds. She uses to spy on the crew, like seeing through their eyes, the happenings around her ship. Yeah, that's rad. Love it.
Oh, so she's like Itachi.
Absolutely. She has a flock She has a flock of psychic birds that she uses to spy on the crew.
I like that a lot.
You can see through their eyes. I mean, this sounds like a ship I wouldn't want to be on.
This sounds like a ship that I would love to be on. You go to the bathroom, all of a sudden the captain's elongated form is chasing you like a fucking skinwalker.
And it has a siren-like voice. Don't forget about that.
Yep.
That's
beautiful.
Love it. All right, so here are the epithets. You can select them. There's the instructions are actually on the page there. We're trying out a new thing for our polls for anybody who's new. This is the StreamYard poll system, and it's so much better. We have improved our technology. Yeah, Wesley's is pointing out that she is very heavy on using beasts, which is very Exodite, and also Trukari. So there's she is honoring her heritage as an Exodite, which I really like. I put in the Star Thief as one of the epithets because I wondered if somebody was going to bring up the idea that maybe she has helped steal sons for Cormora.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't have catastrophic damage on a system.
Hey, it's happened. They have stolen sons in the Dark City.
I know.
The Last Omen's pretty good too, though. That's a good one.
The Last Omen is really good.
The Laughing Blade, if we had gone maybe slightly more lighthearted or more, conquest oriented, that might be a good one. And the Veiled Storm is, of course, for someone who's more interested in fighting maybe than loving. But our captain is a lover, not a fighter, I would say, more often. She's got people to do the fighting, or beasts to do the fighting for her, in fact.
I love the idea that she's like sizing up the captain sizing the enemy is sizing them up, and she's just like, okay, hang on, all right, come here, you're fighting them, I'm not fighting them. Just walks away like, wait, what? You can't just do that.
Ricardo Andre is saying that the psychic birds, he thinks she would use them to instill discipline and paranoia about breaking the rules. However, I would argue that goes against the path of the Corsair because they're all about freedom. They prefer to express themselves far more freely than they would under the more strict societies of the Asuryani and the Drukari. Although we have turned this character into a much darker version of a pirate prince, so it's not out of the question. I was just saying it's unlikely, but I mean, it's possible that she has made her ship a extension of Cormorag to some extent.
What could possibly be dark about, crystallizing your enemies to experience the worst pain imaginable before they die and then keeping them in a museum? What's scary about that?
Wesley points out you don't want to give your crew the freedom to kill you while you're spending time with your companion. Okay, that's a good point. Maybe more like a security system instead of surveillance. Maybe I can see that. What is she, some sort of Pokemon master, says Wolf Boy? I mean,
gotta catch them all.
Again, it's very in keeping with the Exodites to be in tune with nature and link your life with beasts and creatures. Although her collection of beasts and creatures is very much more eclectic than you would typically find on an Exodite world.
That is true.
So, but that's a good point. Okay, so we've got a tie again. Why do you guys do this to me?
Let's give it like 10 more seconds. Somebody please break this tie.
10 more seconds. All right, fair enough. But you know what? In this case, I honestly don't hate it because multiple titles are certainly part of what makes pirates. I mean, or people who like to show off their status often do so with multiple titles. So it's not entirely out of the question to say, I am the Starfief, the Last Omen, the Princess of the Reaving Shadow, or whatever. There are a lot of different ways to go about this.
Did she just say the Reeking Shadow? She does kind of smell.
Reaving Shadow.
Oh, Reaver is really bad. You're actually right.
Reaver's another way to say pirate or Corsair. So.
She's a star thief? How do you steal a star? That's really dumb.
Ricky Chapman. Oh my God, we're coming in with a steel chair here. The Wraith Guard she has wields a gargantuan execution axe made from the shattered shield of a keeper of secrets. Wow. Its jagged edge is painfully cold and shows a bit of one's shame in its reflection. Bro, you could probably make money by writing a collection of magic items for D&D with this kind of flavor text, my friend. That's excellent. That is excellent.
That actually fits too, because every what the hell are they?
I am writing this down.
Oh my god, brain work. Bloodthirster's whip is made out of a keeper of secrets, which is pretty funny.
Which one is that?
The Bloodthirsters, just all of them.
All of them?
Yeah, all of
Huh.
their whips are made out of keepers of secrets that they've killed. Now, I
Interesting.
don't know if they kept the keeper of secrets or they just made it out of the remains of the keepers and they're demons, so they don't have to follow laws of physics.
Well, with Keeper Secrets, of course, as being a Slanesh demon, it makes a lot of sense that they would have battled at some point.
Yeah.
Corsairs often are the ones that go to Crone Worlds, I should point out.
Yep.
Because YOLO, because they're daredevils, that's why, because they are not afraid. Their path just kind of leads them to like be daredevils, to do things that no other Eldar would consider safe. It's just part of the way of their life. Now, can you imagine this character? Can you imagine Morag going to the Crone Worlds?
So I could see her tricking rogue traders to go to them. Or tricking Imperial pirates to go and do her dirty work for her. And then simply destroying them on their way back.
I think it would depend. Is she trying to impress a companion?
Yeah, that's
because then I could see it happening.
Okay, maybe. I would say maybe. Like 90, no, probably like 70% she would.
All right, so her epithet is the Star Thief, and that's fine because she can just be, a thief who travels the stars. She doesn't have to actually steal actual stars. But it's a pretty good one. So Princess Mora, the Wise Death, the Star Thief, Commander of the Reaving Shadow, Captain of the Unwritten Voyage, the Ulathani. Now we get to wrap all of this up. And Alexis, this is going to be on you.
Okay.
Because I know you could do it. And let me just find the epithet. There it is. Hide that. Okay. Now we can start. You can tell me if you want to just link it together from what you remember. That's fine. If you want me to try and give you like bundles of things, I can also do that.
Okay, so Princess Mora was born at a very young age.
she was born on her birthday.
What? No, but jokes aside. How do I want to start this? Okay, so she was born an Exodite originally, right? Or was she?
She is an Exodite. She was born on Cormoran.
So, we do have a
super Exiled one coming in. Exiled one says Void Dreamer Malarothian. Malarothian. I think I got it. He wanders through the void and hopes to get paid and live to sing another day. All right, so that's another member of the crew. Let me just go ahead and add that in.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Void Dreamer Malar Yothian. He wanders through the void and hopes to get paid and live to sing another day. Awesome. We have a great crew here. We have a lot of beasts and we have a lot of ghosts and we have some weird stuff like a clone. And they've got like a fairly standard Void Dreamer, which is surprisingly the most normal person aboard the ship, or even in the crew, I should say.
Alrighty. So I think I got it.
All right, let's do it. Go for it.
So Mora was born in Camorra, and within Camorra, her family. Well, that doesn't make sense. Because she has a Farseer as a parent.
Well, yeah, but the mother could have been an Exodite Beastmaster that was hired by the Cormorites. And she gave birth on Camorra.
Yeah, but then where does the Farseer come in?
Grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Uncle.
So we're not going direct parent. We're just saying.
I mean, it's a term. Yeah, I mean.
Okay. So, born to a family of Beastmasters, Mora was a bit of an outcast within the Camoran society. She specialized in hunting animals, mostly for her own entertainment and for her own sustenance. she had a special connection with the she had a special connection with the razor wings. Uh, Almost as if she can see through their eyes through a
Mm.
ability that she is not sure she has. This led her to be more of an outcast than anybody else. As she developed, she noticed that she had abilities that may be forbidden in Kamara.
Psychic
Seeking
abilities.
seeking a way out of it, she made a deal with a homunculus for passage off of the ship. Passage. But in doing so, she had many of lovers. She had to gain access to a ship. Um, in the ensuing battle with a former lover, she may or may not have won through a darker means, but something happened to her that day. She left a she left aboard her former lover's ship, and within the ship itself, she started noticing voices, ghosts, echoes of the past. The systems talking to themselves, saying yearning for different stars than the one she was guiding them to. The crew itself questioned her beliefs, questioned everything about her. At first, she tried to bribe them into acceptance of her. Then she tried brutality. Both didn't work. She eventually settled on equal pay to gain their loyalty. Though she was always paranoid about this crew itself, she used a flock of razor wings to keep an eye on all of them, making sure that they never get too close to her. The crew itself has never heard her voice, though strangely they hear her singing throughout the ship every now and then. Though this voice doesn't properly match up, something's not right. Every now and then, a crew member speaks of constructs appearing out of nowhere, tunnels, tubes that don't exist aboard the vessel itself. A creature that looks surprisingly like the captain appearing at the end of these hallways. Though the first mate, what's the Wraith Guard's name?
Ferry Enweir.
Fenrir guides them out of it, explaining to them that what they're seeing are simply delusions. Maybe they're working too hard. Perhaps they're overdoing it. They need to relax. The life of a Corsair is a risky one, and she who thirsts might be looking at them. So they have to calm their own nerves, keep themselves in check, otherwise, this creature might reappear. What they don't know is that creature is also the captain, part of her that was left over as part of the deal that was broken with the homunculus. This creature hunted her down eventually on orders of the homunculus, but she keeps a psychic gyrinx around to keep that creature at bay, warning her when it appears, the guard stepping in to protect her as often as needed. They never talk, though they do communicate. No one is quite sure how, though signs are shown, but the crew has a hard time of interpreting them. A wraith bones, a wraith singer. That's what they're called.
Wraith Guard.
No, the one that makes the bones.
Oh, Bone
The
Singer.
bone singer. Bone singer. The bone singer interprets these to the crew itself. Aside from that, can you scroll down on this?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Ba, 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 ba. Her philosophy, her greatest weakness. She is often quite enamored by differencing in people and plunder. Oftentimes sacrificing plunder for booty. Let's see. What else do we got?
Don't forget the gallery full of black crystal trophies.
Oh yeah, the gallery that walks to her command throne aboard the ship itself, surrounded by dozens upon dozens of black glass crystallized statues. People shown in the most extreme pain that they've ever felt in their entire existence, frozen in time as an ill omen as you walk up to deal with the captain. The captain uses this as both a bargaining chip as well as an intimidation factor.
So the galleries lines the pathway to the throne where the pirate. That's awesome. Love that.
Yep. before her throne itself are two gargantuan creatures kept in stasis, but always there, always ready to be activated. One, Carnozilla. The other, a Jakaro Kong.
Joe
We have to
Kong,
throw
for
it.
short.
Yeah, Jokon for short. Yeah, I like that.
We
The
do have a
crew
super
itself
chat.
is a bunch of outcasts, rangers, and other random Corsairs. All right, let's get to the super chat.
Wolf Boy, hey, welcome, Wolf Boy. He says the reason she doesn't have a voice, but the creature does, is because the homunculus swears that her voice belongs to them.
Oh, that's good.
That's a little bit of Little Mermaid, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
Poor unfortunate souls. You poor unfortunate souls.
That's really
Love
good.
it. I will add that once Alexis is finished with her summary.
Alrighty. What else do we got? Can you scroll down a bit? Am I missing anything just yet?
The Necron noble named Sote. They fear the ship choosing its own path.
I got the ship
concerned
fearing its
parent?
own path.
You did that, yeah. Concerned parent.
Okay. Upon their travels, they kept having a run-in with a Farseer, one that wouldn't shoot upon them but kept trying to open communications with them. This Farseer would order their ship to stand down, everybody aboard to withdraw from the fray and allow peace negotiations. This was just a tactic to control her, and she knew it, thus further pushing her away from this Farseer who kept pursuing her. But the ship would always find its way back to this Farseer, as if the ship itself is trying to protect her. Let's see, what else? Upon one of their excursions through varying acquisitions, let's just say, and various partners, one turned out to be a Necron noble. What was the Necron noble's name?
Sote, who's totally not Trace in the Infinite.
Yeah, Sote Natrazine. Sote, being a Necron, was first feared by the Corsairs, weapons drawn, blades pointed, and everything. But he assured them that he is not like any of his other kin. He does not seek war with them, but war, in fact, with his own. For they have done a greater betrayal to him than they would ever know. And in doing so, he promised them outrageous scores of materials, trade wares, and booty abound. They followed him into certain worlds, looting them, stopping command protocols, destroying certain key structures within them, causing seismic activities to planets to collapse tombs, making sure that these Necron tomb worlds were theirs and only theirs to loot, and no Necrons could ever awaken from them. After a few short bouts with him, Sotek Natrazine disappeared as though he was never there. Is there anything else that we have?
The Inquisitor and the Serpent and her Star Thief.
Okay, I got nothing for the Star Thief. Though.
Okay, that's fine. Again, she could just be the Thief of Stars. Maybe that's what the Necrons are calling her.
Yeah, the Star Thief for destroying their tomb worlds.
Yes,
okay,
and
I like
plundering them.
Yep. She once got in touch with an Inquisitor who was, let's just say, very, 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 very pious at first meeting. That didn't last very long. Their relations were very...
they were amicable until they weren't.
They were very tense and enjoyable until they weren't. A short trip out of an airlock and a possible breakup, though the Inquisitor would never admit to this, and a certain thing stolen from the Inquisitor that they could never get back. Whether this be a priceless heirloom or maybe their pride itself, they do not know.
A tsundere Inquisitor, says
Yes. Is there anything else that I'm missing? The Druid Serpent is just part of their kit.
Right. Let's see. Sign language mute. Broken Hearts, Distracted, Rival, Exodite, Chimera hunting, using hunting hounds, Suspected Family, Winning a Duel, Possessed by a Pirate, Challenger Blades, Philosophy, Weaknesses, Flagship. No, I think you covered the majority of it. The pre-fall songs and maps that the treasure that may be one of the things.
Now, her story is ongoing. It is not ended here, for she has maps of webways that are yet to been, well, have never been explored until hang on, let me rephrase this. Let me give me 2 seconds to use my brain. It takes a minute every now and then. It's kind of like an old car. You have to crank it to get it to start. She holds a vast treasure of webway tunnels unexplored for millennia, and that is where her story is going. She will fly into the webway and discover paths that have yet to been explored except by those of maybe the Harlequin. Perhaps this is where she was always being driven to, a place where she is safe from the demon. A place where the Farseer has been guiding her, the ship has been pulling her. Perhaps the Farseer is protecting her after all. Whether or not that she wants it is beyond her control at this point.
That is a hell of a story. Good job, Alexis.
Yeah.
You should do this for a living.
Maybe.
You should start a channel called Alexis Lore Weaver, where you just take a bunch of weird ideas and like make a story out of it. Because you're really good at that.
I would definitely do that. I do that during my streams every now and then.
Oh, nice. Speaking of, we are in the last 5 minutes of our show, so we should probably ask, where can people find you on the internet if they want to know more about you?
Obituaries.
No.
Nah. You search this name right here, Norn Queen Alexis. I am on Blue Sky. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I'm currently playing through Armageddon. I don't know how much longer I can keep playing that game, but I'm going to probably play it for a little bit longer. On TikTok, I post all of my Viking stuff. You can also find me on Instagram, but I barely use Instagram. And yeah. What about you, Ross?
So you can find me at twitch.tv/TheRossWatson. That's fine. I'm actually planning to do an AMA tomorrow. So if you want to come and hang out and chat and ask me questions, you're welcome to do that. I am also, of course, the host of Lorebeards and Role Playing, which does every Monday from 2 to 5. We will be there will be a poll up on YouTube right after this show if you want to go vote and determine what we'll cover next Wednesday. But we're also going to be broadcasting Saturday. And right now, I believe the poll has got something else in the lead. Let me just double check that, because we have a Saturday show and the poll's already up for that one. It's currently the Tau Empire for July 18th. So if you want to vote on something, it's going to be difficult to shake that off the top. Hey, we get to talk about the Tau for once.
Oh, hey, hell yeah.
That's going to be great. We've been talking about the Aeldari a lot. Don't get me wrong, love the Aeldari, but there is more to discuss. So I'm excited to get into the Tau Empire on Saturday. So join us then. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of everything that we do, you can join our awesome Discord and become a lore seeker, which is what we call our chat and our friends who go to the Discord and learn about what we got coming up and maybe comment on things they'd like to see in the future, and even share miniature photos of their miniatures, painted miniatures that Alexis and I can look at on some of our streams.
Yeah.
But that is basically that for this Let's Build. This was a good one. This was a good one. I really enjoyed it.
I think the theme of this one is dark, but in a not so dark setting. Like, the setting of her ship and everything is really dark. The implications of what she does to people is dark, but overall her tone isn't.
There's a glimmer. There's a glimmer of hope. Like, there's an idea that this may not be a permanent situation for her, that Morrock could grow from here to, or maybe even return to her Exodite world at some point in the future. But maybe the mantle of the Starfief gets passed down to the next captain of the Unwritten Voyage.
Yeah.
The Unwritten Journey, I think that's the name. Yeah. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you guys again on Saturday from 2 to 5. So join us then. Alexis, what do we say when we close out our episodes?
In the grim darkness of the far future,
there is only lore. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.